We believe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Survivor Season 18-20 recap podcast. I'm your host, Civ, and joining me here is Siren, our Season 2 winner and Season 20 final boot. Cooper, our Survivor Season 18 fifth placer. 13, our Survivor Season 18 final boot. And EG, our Season 20 champion, aka the Greek god. So, how are you guys doing today?
I'm ready to discuss the two seasons that I enjoy.
I'm ready to try and
ready to
talk
unleash
about anything, but I'm
again.
not very good at that.
Alright, so last podcast we discussed season 21. This time we're going to be discussing season 18 through 20.
I think I missed the 21 podcast, bro.
You missed the 21 podcast, yeah.
That's a shame because I have so much I want to say about that shit.
Alright, so we also might be getting two others.
I guess we can retroactively make this as an 18 to 21 podcast.
So there are two people that also might join as well. Actually, three people, and that would be Billy, James, and Preston. If they come in, they can talk their share and whatever. But we're starting off with season 18, which is considered one of Survivor's best seasons, and definitely the best season since season 9 for sure.
Yeah, I got my pizza ready. Is that what you were getting from the DoorDash before the podcast, Civ? Some Domino's?
No, I actually got Culver's, but this is the Brendan. Yeah, so we had a lot of fun prodding season 18, a lot of fun memories made out of it, and we got some great merge moments out of it. So I think we'll start out simple here because we got 13 and Cooper here right now. So what were your guys' strategies going into season 18?
I didn't have a strategy going in. It was just gonna be more like I was taking what I did in other orgs and being like, I'm not gonna do that because for the most part, that it didn't end well. One of the seasons that I had been in before, I got 6th, and I had been without allies from like final 12. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to take what I learned from the people who did well in that season better than me, or who I thought were playing better than me that I somehow outranked in that season. So pretty much just through the season, it was me pulling things out of my ass, which is just how I like to play. But the only thing that I planned to do was just do better. That was all.
Cooper, what was your strategy for season 18?
For me, I was mostly trying to lay under the radar, but that quickly went out the window, as we'll talk about. But I also wanted to establish a number one ally, which I feel like I did do with Wendy. But that was kind of my two main objectives. One went way better than the other, but
Right now. So you two did start off on the starting tribes together, and did you guys swap together? I forget. Let me check the voting chart.
No.
Oh, but you did, Cooper. I do want to ask a little bit before we get too deep. How did it feel playing with Andrew? Because I know you were a huge Andrew fan.
I mean, we butted heads throughout the season. I feel like we kind of like made peace at the end. Especially with my vote for FTC. But I don't know, we were just never on the same side of the boat, and I felt he was very stubborn at points in the season, and we were just like never on the same side. And he was I don't know, always targeting. Yeah, we were never on the same page whatsoever. Um, and I feel like we were both pretty, I don't know, loyal to the people that we were loyal to, and we weren't really gonna jump ship, I guess.
You guys had a relatively easy uh pre-swap. Did you guys feel about like your original tribe mates when you guys played?
I mean, for me at least, uh, immediately I kind of got along with 13, Zach, Wendy, Abe, and Leah were like the main ones that I got along with. Abe, I would say I got along with the most. We found ourselves in a position where we were both in alliances with. We had one with Wendy and 13, and then one with Leah and Zach, if I do recall. And so we kind of just, I don't know, I felt like he was my number one because we kind of had that in common. Kind of playing the middle between those two alliances, at least for the pre-merge or pre-swap.
All right, fair enough. 13, how was your experience on your OG tribe?
I feel like for me, if I remember correctly, I really feel like I got along pretty well with everybody. I don't remember who was first boot for that. Was that from our team or from the other one?
It was from your team. You guys booted Planet 8-1.
Wait,
That's
who
right.
did I beef with? I feel like I beefed with somebody that I cannot remember their name with at all. Like they
Is it
tried throwing the
probably Kibo, I'm guessing?
no, it wasn't Kibo. Although I do think Kibo, we had like kind of like a minor blow up.
What about Mystic?
It was Mystic. It was Mystic. We had like a minor, like I kind of went off on him when he tried. He tried like saying some stuff on his way out the door. I do remember. I don't know.
But for me, I think I kind of liked everybody on that team to start. Even Planet, even though he was the first person out, he didn't really talk a lot, and I think that was the problem. And by the time that he really wanted to work with me, I already had like Cooper mentioned the alliance with Cooper and Abe, and I think it was Wendy.
Yeah.
It was like the Fantastic Four, whatever it was. Um, so one thing that I would say is that like for the first like 3 of our eliminations or whatever before the swap, it was I didn't have an easy time voting out any of them. I feel like Kibo was the easiest of those 3, but also for each of them, I think that I would have been fine if any of them had stayed, and I would have been willing to work with any of them. And it almost happened with Mystic. If he had had an idol, I probably would have like if he could if he had found a way to prove to me that he had an idol, I definitely would have worked with him. I was close.
Oh.
Yeah.
So then you guys make the swap, and 13, you swapped with Preston, Andrew, Leah, Zach, Joseph, and Abe. I just realized the entire Final Four was on the same swap tribe. It's funny. And then Cooper, you swapped with Wendy, Brendan, Dirk, and Tony. You did use the safety without power. The first swap tribal. You were kind of a target that at that stage for a lot of the season. Actually, I do remember. How did you get out of so many situations like that?
I mean, yeah, it all started with the swap, I guess. I, me and Preston, when we went to the power plant, um, and where I got my safety without power, I I don't know. He kind of like said we were gonna keep it like between us, so I didn't like snitch on him. But it ended up he snitched on me back to his tribe when he went back. So I guess I took it a little bit more serious when it came to keeping the secret. So I lied about uh, going / who went um, to my swap tribe, and they kind of, I believe that put a target on my back. I think they were ready to vote out Brendan, but then I did that, so they kind of didn't trust me. And yeah, I used that safety without power. Basically said good luck to Wendy, because at that point, me and Wendy weren't as close as we would eventually become as partners and allies in the game. Um, who was okay? So there's Ty, Brendan, Dirk, me, Wendy, and who else was in the tribe?
Tony.
Tony. Okay, yeah, and then Tony went home, correct, when I used my safety without power.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then we went back to tribal not far after, and I don't even remember, what did we use, the steel boat? Somebody had a steel boat, right?
Yeah. Raven's vote got stolen by you.
How did I get a steel boat? I guess I don't remember how I got that. Did I get sent back to the power plant?
Yeah, you did.
Oh yeah,
You got sent back with
Zach, right?
Yeah, Zach.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, because I was like, I think I told him when we were about to swap, it was like, we need to look out for each other if the tribal lines are unfavorable for one side. And they were able to hook me up with that steel vote. And honestly, there was a lot of commotion going on. Ty and Dirk wanted to take out Brendan, I believe. And honestly, I don't even remember. It was so chaotic of a tribal. And ultimately, we sent out Dirk. Me and Wendy put 3 votes onto Dirk, I believe.
Yeah.
Using the steel vote, taking away Raven's vote and putting on to Dirk. So
13, how was your swap experience?
It was atrocious at first. Actually, it was atrocious for most of it, I think. Because it was like, it started off, if I remember correctly, it was me, it was Abe, Zach, and Leah.
Yeah, it was you, Abe, Zach, Leah, Preston, Andrew.
And then Joseph as well, right?
Yeah.
So it was, I'm trying to remember, because a lot of the time I'll talk about this kind of thing and then pull extra little facts out of my ass that didn't happen. So I'm trying to remember as close as I can to what actually happened. But if I remember correctly, it's like me and Abe were already like aligned. Then you had Zach and Leah, who apparently were already aligned. And basically, what I needed to do personally was just keep our 4 together, because with the other team, everybody from our original team was in the other. They swapped to the other team, and they were way outnumbered. So what was important to me was to keep us 4 together. And after whoever the first 2 boots of the swap were, I don't remember, but they were from the other team. It really felt like we could get back to having our original team having the numbers by the time we merged, because if we could lose, to me it seemed quite obvious that it was going to be either Preston or Joseph or Andrew out. And then it really wasn't. But that's probably where I started, like, after that tribal where Abe goes home. I feel like that's where I started, like, actually playing the game a lot more, because before it was just like, basically my game before that was just a bunch of sweet talking, kissing everybody's asses, know, but after that, I had to actually start like scrambling like wild. And I think the best thing I did was I started like talking with Preston a lot. While I didn't actually think that me and him were gonna work together, I mainly just intended to like use him to my advantage to like help me and the other three from my original team. That wound up obviously being pretty big later on. What I established with Preston there was like the most important part of my game. I would say the entire time. Aside from the two idols that I found pre-merge, but I don't brag. Or actually, was one of them merge idol? Can't remember.
Yeah, one of them was merge idol. Yeah.
But yeah, other than the idol that I found, I would say the relationship with Preston was the most important thing I did, and I was in that swap portion. And then after the Abe elimination, I was kind of ticked off, wanted Preston gone. And I don't actually remember what happened after that. We obviously didn't lose after that.
So what happened? What happened was before you guys merged, we had a reward challenge. Cooper's tribe won that, and then Cooper got voted to get the advantage, which was a gambler's idol. Which does bring us into the merge vote, actually, where Cooper did manage to play that correctly, and Void getting eliminated 6-5.
Yep. Yeah, I should have been dead in the water long before that. I feel like I was kind of playing with house money after surviving the Dirk vote out, and so I think I just kind of fucking threw all strategy I had coming in out the window and just kind of doing anything to survive at that point. So that's why, honestly, nobody wanted the power, it seemed like. So I advocated for myself to get it, which people, I guess, kind of willingly gave it to me. Because at that time, me and Ty kind of had like this weird relationship where we wanted to work with each other, but we just didn't know if we could trust each other at the same time. But and then because there's only two, we only went to two tribals during swap, correct?
Yeah, you guys went to 2 tribals, and
Okay,
13 went to 1 tribal.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, this is kind of where I just was kind of shoved into the spotlight of being a target week in and week out, or tribal in and tribal out.
Yeah. So how did you guys manage that like first stage of merge? Because at the start it was kind of like OG tribe versus OG tribe. We saw Joseph get out via close tribal lines, and then same with Ty. What was the strategy for early merge for you guys?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of sticking with the people that we thought we could trust, which was pretty much the OG tribes. So
I think that it was obvious through the swap that even though some of us had said we would want to work with the other tribe or we'd be open to that, I feel like because that didn't happen in the swap thing coming into merge, we also did not want to do that anymore. So we just stuck tribal lines for the first couple, and I don't know what the plan was other than just stick together. I cannot remember, but it was just a bunch of like random shit go type shit where we just our best to survive. I really don't.
I mean,
I will talk about, because it is really important in the first part of merge. So in merge, someone got their vote stolen at Final 11, and it was actually Brendan that got his vote stolen. And then this is important because he makes an entire commotion about it, and Andrew gets so pissed off about it for no reason.
I get to finally say this. The Brendan hate for like I'm gonna say the entire game really was like so unfounded. I never understood it.
Yeah.
Me neither, actually. That's
Brendan,
kind of interesting because
Was
I
he
didn't talk with
really?
Brendan. I didn't talk with Brendan a lot, but when we did, I felt like he was pretty chill.
yeah, no,
And
there
it was
was like multiple players that were like, I refuse to work with Brendan. He's not trustworthy. How dare he complain about his vote being stolen? How dare he ask people like other players? I don't think you guys did it, but like some players were like, how dare he
Preston
ask
for sure.
people who stole the vote?
It was mainly the Burns Empire players, so like Preston, Andrew, Joseph, Ty,
It
people
was
like
his
that.
it was his own allies that didn't consider him as a number, even though he that were angry about him complaining about his vote being stolen because he wanted to help them. It's so stupid.
I mean, yeah. For me, Brendan, like, I think was originally targeting me during the swap, so I kind of just disregarded ever trying to work with him, and he was such a wild card that it just wasn't worth like the trouble. Like, I didn't know he could do whatever, and I wasn't really sure where he would
No,
stand when it.
like you guys made sense. That was okay, but like I just never. Even when like it was obvious he was trying to flip, no one would let him flip. It was just kind of sad.
Yeah. It
Right.
was a very. It's funny because Andrew's the one that stole Brendan's vote, and then Andrew gets angry at Brendan for making a big deal
Wait,
about it. And it's like, bro,
Andrew was literally like, Brendan's not our ally. I don't trust him, so I'm gonna steal his vote and then get publicly pissed at him because I stole it.
this was the first vote of merge, correct? We're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yes, first vote of
Uh,
murder.
yeah, I mean, they were like, from what I remember, they were kind of trying to make make it seem that they were trying to work with us and that they
They were
were
not.
trying to actually vote out Brendan, but they
I
did
don't.
not do a good enough job. And we
They
just
just
kind of,
didn't like Brendan. Domino's is apparently the root of all evil.
but
If merge continued tri-blind versus tri-blind, there's no way Burns Empire wins because
yeah,
they just implode so awfully.
Honestly, the thing about it is, for me, about the early part of the merge, is that the early part of the merge is the cast going, we need to get Cooper, and fumbling again and again. And it's the early part of the merge. And then they just stop doing it at some point, I believe, right? Where they're just like, I give up.
So
He's invincible.
what happened was, and Cooper was immune for the final 10, so they decided to go for the next best option, which was Cooper's best friend Wendy,
Yeah.
who happened to have an idol. So
Yeah.
they failed to get
well,
Wendy out.
I mean, I'm
Wow.
not sure what the chain of events were, but at one point, well, because I split my idol correct into two half idols, isn't that how
Yeah,
that?
you did. You did.
Yeah, so I was able to perfectly play it so where I um, got rid of enough votes that I was able to stay the first round, and then I don't know, I won like 3 or 4 immunities at some point out there, and then one of them was the that flip on Zach, and I don't know, it was just a
Yeah,
chain of
so
events.
the flip on Zach, which is kind of what kills the potential begogging, which is Zach's blindside, where uh you guys kind of pulled in Raven, Andrew, and Preston to vote out to vote out Zach, which is what causes 13 to flip. So 13, which one are you guys going to go first about the final 9?
I'll let him go first. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, there have been rumblings. Like, I don't know, Preston had been trying to nail this into my head that um, Zach was eventually going to flip, which I did think was a likely possibility at some point. Because he'd seemed to always want to not sever any ties with Preston or Andrew. It kind of like seemed like he wanted to keep them around. So I'm not sure if you guys can you guys confirm was this eventually going to be a plan of Zach's to
Yes,
go after like a me and Wendy?
I think if Brendan went home, because Zach voted Brendan and so did 13 and Leah. I think if Brendan does go home, Zach probably goes after you or Wendy final 8.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like I didn't want to risk waiting and seeing if he's actually going to make the move because I felt like at that point I was the bigger threat to Preston and Andrew. And I felt like they were given the opportunity working with Zach or me. They're going to pick to work with Zach, at least at that point in the game. So I kind of lunged at the opportunity to kind of get him before he could possibly get me. And I don't know, it was probably the right move looking back still, but it's hard to tell.
13, how did the Zach blindside affect your game?
Oh, so after the swap, when we moved into the swap teams, Zach was my main focus, was him and Leah. Like, oh my god, bro. Brain fart, hold up. My main focus was like I said earlier, was working with Zach and Leah and Abe. And after Abe goes home, Zach quickly became the number 1 because I think if I remember correctly, Leah went out to like somewhere in Europe and wasn't on as often. And I could be pulling that out of my ass. I don't remember.
No, you're right.
But Zach became like my number 1 to work with, and into the merge, me and him were talking about working with Preston at probably about final 8 or so. But we were like, we'll weaken the OG. Were they Burns or were we Burns? Burns Empire, I think, was.
Burns was Preston. You guys were Krusty.
Okay, so I think the plan was for me and him to weaken the OG Burns Empire members to the point where Preston would have to come to me and him as allies. So at final 8 or so, it would be like, I think it would have been like me and Cooper and Zach and Leah from our original team. And I don't remember anybody else. Wendy. All right, but I think what the plan was for me and Zach was to vote Brendan out at final 9, then team up with Preston and crew to pull a blind side at final 8. I believe that's what it was. And then when Cooper beat me to it, and blindsided Zach, that kind of put me in a pretty awful position. But that's where the my relationship that I had been kind of building with Preston came into clutch later on for like the final 8, especially. But then final 7, final 8, and then especially final 7 because that's when I got rid of Wendy. But it was because of that vote at final 9 for Zach that I was kind of like, okay, I definitely really want to get rid of Cooper now. But of course, he did win immunity. I think both Final 8 and Final 7, if I remember, but definitely Final 7.
Cooper won Final 6 and Final 7 immunity.
Okay. But it was that
Andrew
was the
won
reason.
Final 8.
All right. So that was the reason why I just fully switched from working with Cooper to working against him and working with Preston, was because of the Zach vote.
Yeah, so it seems like inevitable that I was going to be screwed if I didn't make that move. So kind of reassures why I did it, for me at least.
All right. So later on, we see Brendan get out on a unanimous revote. So Brendan goes there.
What was the original vote?
It was a 4-4 between Brendan and Leah.
Oh, okay.
Which is funny. I'm also gonna say, and I kind of loved Preston for this. Preston had such a target eye on Leah. He wanted Leah gone so badly.
Wasn't that because they were? I think that the story of that tribal was that we were like, okay, let's actually get out Brendan this time, and then like the OG Burns didn't trust it still, and then that's why they split. They thought there was some sort of shenanigans going on, and then that's why they just all flipped. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah. And so Leah survives, and then we go to the 5-2 where Cooper loses his number 1 and Wendy.
Yeah.
And after that, we have that very crazy 3-2-1 tribal council. So, how did either of you approach the final 6 tribal?
I don't even. Well, first off of Wendy, yeah, it was kind of, we had been put as this target for a while, and was that when the all girls alliance thing started to come up?
Yeah, there was starting to be a pitch of an all girls alliance.
Was it an actual thing?
I think Wendy was trying to push it, but it never truly worked. Like Leah and Raven didn't want a part of it.
But yeah, there's nothing I could really do there. I was blindsided at that point, obviously. But the final 6. Who went home? I guess I'm.
Raven went home.
Raven, right?
Yeah, Raven 3-2-1.
She had the idol.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, what the plan was that Preston saw. Well, firstly, he saw Cooper as a threat, but Cooper was immune, and he also saw Raven as a threat, if I remember correctly. And so he really wanted to work to blindside her, if I remember. I don't remember if that's how that went down. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't remember.
It was actually Andrew who pushed the thing. The funny thing is, Preston was a part of the 2 on Raven. I mean on Leah, but that was more of like a potential split play. Because Raven did have the idol.
The only thing that I remember for certain about that, other than Raven having the idol, was that I was really not confident in who I was going to vote for that one. And
is this when I voted for Andrew?
I think I did vote for Raven, if I'm correct.
Yeah, you voted for Raven, and Cooper voted for Andrew.
Oh,
Cooper was the one.
You guys led me astray. I was just I had nobody at that point. I felt like, and yeah, like I don't know, me and Leah didn't really have any like working relationship, and me and 13's ours had kind of been strained. I could feel it, but I just kind of had a hope for something. But I think I was given I don't know who agreed to the plan to vote out Andrew that I proposed, but yeah, it obviously did not work.
And like I said, I don't really remember 100% the story of that tribal, but if I remember correctly, it was like that exact vote that got Andrew mad at me for some reason. I really
Well,
don't know.
He thought you voted Leah.
Oh,
He
he
thought
thought
it
I
was.
voted, and not Preston.
That's what made the like split. That's why we glazed Preston's move on Final Six, because Preston like intentionally voted Leah, both to save face for Raven and to piss Andrew off against you.
Right. I didn't even like have much of a problem with Andrew, I don't think, up to that. And then when he just started like getting mad at me, I'm like, I really don't like this guy.
Andrew was the king of getting mad. So yeah, after that pretty simple tribal council in which Cooper goes.
Bro, I hated that immunity challenge. It was
Oh
like
yeah, it was
I
the
was
dating challenge.
I was so annoyed. It was like because for the other ones, I felt like it was something that I could like because there was like the Simpsons like compilation video one where he asked the questions about it, and I literally went through and like detailed every little scene, and I was able to quickly get through that. But I felt like there was very little I could do.
Oh.
There's very little I could do on the Final Five challenge to boost my odds. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing, and I really had no hope going into that. Everyone saw me as a target, and I don't even know if who I tried to pull in to do something. I'm sure it was 13 and Preston to get on Andrew again, but
I remember
think
you
you
said you
just-
had an idol.
oh yeah. I pulled out the fake item, which it was a very last ditch effort.
Yeah, you voted Andrew that tribal.
Yeah.
Do we think Andrew would have gone home if Cooper wound up winning that immunity?
No. I'll be real. I think it would have just been Leia. I honestly think Leia may just go.
Who would you have voted there? 13. Like, who would be your like pick to vote out?
Well, at that point, I'm like really close with Preston, so not him. And if Cooper's immune, obviously not him. I think between Andrew and Leah, I think it's a toss up, to be honest. I think Andrew was closer with Preston, so there's more of a chance that I would vote Leah probably, just because I don't think I would have been able to get Preston on Andrew in that particular vote.
Who would you have gone for, Cooper?
With me winning, like I don't know, I feel like I would have been more focused on who I could continue to beat in terms of immunities, because I feel like that was my only hope going down the stretch there, because I really had next to no allies at that point in the game, and I was just viewed as a threat. So honestly, I don't know who I viewed as the biggest competition threat to me. It would either be probably 13 or Preston.
Honestly,
but
I think Preston or 13 may lose in that timeline because Andrew and Leia were starting to be a duo at that time. So if they get Cooper to vote with them, they could take out 13 or Preston.
Yeah.
Which I do see as a reasonable move to happen.
I just, I mean, me and Andrew, I feel
Well,
like
I think I think at this point, like, Andrew has definitely disassociated with 13. I don't know if he's disassociated with Preston yet.
That's why I'm gonna lean. That's why I'm
Yeah.
gonna lean to 13 elimination. Honestly, if Cooper wins, because Andrew and Leia aren't gonna vote each other, and I see Andrew walking up to Cooper and being like, "Do you want a final 3?"
Yeah, it seems like it'd either be like a 3-2 13 or a 3-2 on Leah.
Yeah.
I mean, because at that point for me, I feel like my mentality was that I had my biggest threat to beat me was Preston. Obviously, he played a great game. 13, like, he played so, like, behind the scenes that he wasn't exactly super high on my radar. So I think I definitely would have, because my whole thing was I felt like I'd been trying to keep around Preston and then eventually wanting to cut him and keep him as another big threat. But it just never came to fruition. Eventually taking him out, obviously.
So we go to Final Four where we have a fire making challenge between 13 and Leah. 13, have you ever had a fire making challenge before Survivor 18?
Never. That was also the first votes that I got for that for that entire season were there. Which
Did
I
Preston not get voted that round? Can we talk about that?
It's insane.
The real story of that shit made zero sense. The fact that with the fire not, it should have been, honestly, and I say this, I understand 13 wanting to keep Preston. It should have been fire between Leia and, that's what should have happened. And then it doesn't change anything. I think Preston beats the shit out of Leia, but like, still, how? What happened here?
I think it was because Andrew was so mad at me, and I think Andrew was immune. I can't vote Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew is
So
immune.
so I think if I remember correctly, there was like some like trickery I pulled there, where I told Preston that Andrew wanted me to vote for him, and Andrew told Preston he wanted Preston to vote for me, and we told each other that, and we were like, oh, so he's just going behind our backs. He never told me to vote Preston, if I remember correctly. But I said he did, and that got Preston to vote with me for Leo.
Yeah.
I'll be realistic. I think Preston was always voting Leah. I'm gonna be very realistic. I don't think it mattered what you said.
I think so too, but it was like a good like incentive. Like
It was a good incentive, definitely, but like
Preston was like semi on the fence, and then after that, it was just like, oh, okay, I have no reason to work with Leah.
because like the thing is like, and I'll say this to kind of segue, the fact that taking out Leah gets Preston to the end, no matter what, is the most what the fuck moment of the season. In hindsight, Preston doing that fire is the best move ever.
Yeah.
This season.
So after
Season
that,
18.
13, unfortunately. 13, I do want to ask, did you know that if Preston won immunity, he'd take you to FTC? Did you know that?
I did not, actually. I was not sure. But
You were one Andrew immunity loss away from making FTC.
which would have been awesome, bro. I had never made it past Final 6 before Survivor 18. I still haven't since. So I'm hoping I was hoping that I could make it there, and it would have been pretty cool. I thought that I finally broke my my little 13 curse by by naming myself 13 for this season, that I would make it to the end. But it just didn't happen. I'll tell you what, I still would have lost because I definitely would have brought Preston. I just hated Andrew that much.
I'll be very honest, and I don't think people talk about this enough. 13 should have won 18. 13 should have won. When Andrew wins immunity, it is I was baffled as hell.
Oh yeah,
I think
Proud was major 13 fans.
I think I was the first one before as the Cooper and Wendy saga is going on, where I was like, what about Preston and 13? They're vibing. You're crazy, Siren. And like 2 rounds later, everyone got it. It's like, yeah, a good duo.
Yeah.
I'm not an Andrew fan. Everyone knows this. I'm
No,
not
I don't
an
think there is. So after 13 goes, we of course go to FTC, and so I'm gonna ask 13 first. So obviously you voted Preston. I can guess why you did, but do you want to just explain to the fans why you voted for Preston to win?
First of all, Preston played way better game socially, strategically than Andrew. But also me and Preston like worked together from definitely from Final 7, but kind of like to a lesser extent from like Final 11 or so, where he would give me information to try and save his own ass. I would give him information to make it seem like we weren't voting out his allies. One thing I always did was make sure that it looked like I was always open to working with him. And because I did that, we managed to work up the duo. And ultimately, that's why I voted for him to win, was because me and him had worked together hand in hand for the last part of the game. And I really just thought that he deserved to win that.
Fair enough. Cooper. So if season 18 was a season full of blindsides, as you know, but you might have given us the biggest blindside of all.
Yep, I wanted to keep you guys on your toes.
And just to provide a little context, Preston didn't receive any elimination votes and won 8-1, so he could have won a perfect game. So, Cooper, do you want to explain why you voted for Andrew to win FTC?
I mean, to be honest, this was like 5 months ago. Honestly, I don't remember my whole thought process, but I think I was looking for any reason to vote for Andrew, and I think there might have been one question I asked where Andrew gave me I wanted one of them to own up to being like a villain or something like that, kind of owning their shit. And in terms of like, I don't know, I guess I was looking more for Andrew to be like, yeah, I was kind of a dick at times, and I think he actually did own up to it somewhat. So I don't know. I don't know. Preston did play the better game. I will say that. So I don't know. It just felt like throwing a wrench in things, I guess.
Honestly, it's till the end of time. Preston had the most dominant game of Survivor history, and if I still think Evan should have gotten it in season 9 as well. By the way, in terms of perfect games, Evan in season 9 should have got a perfect game. But if Evan didn't deserve it, because I know FTC, Evan at FTC at season 9, I understand why he didn't get the perfect game. Preston should have gotten it. 18.
Yeah.
Aside what happened in 21. I understand. I remembered what happened. Andrew gave you like a god tier answer. I understand it. It's just we're never having a perfect winner in Survivor. We just need to accept it. It's never happening. The perfect winner. I mean, we did have the first unanimous winner in a season we'll be talking about.
We did.
Hello.
Which I think was well deserved. Hello! Go back. You gotta wait 2 seasons. Go back. Go back to Greece. Well, you're actually still there, but yeah, go away. We haven't summoned the god yet.
All right. So, do you two got anything else you want to add before we move on to season 19?
I don't think so. The only thing I'll say is that I feel like the things that I was just saying here, I feel like it would have been a lot more engaging if Preston was here to add on to it, because I feel like there's a lot missing to the things I was saying that he definitely could have elaborated on. But other than that, not really.
Yeah, I
Fair
mean,
enough. Hopefully,
me,
Preston does come here, and maybe I'll let him give him a chance to speak on some season 18 stuff.
for me at least, I wasn't here for the season 21 plan. I guess I tried not doing what I ended up doing for season 18 and season 21. Having that big target on my back, but that did not work out. And yeah, maybe another Survivor season.
All right. So we'll now go. I do want to say one thing before season 18. I should have mentioned this when we were at Final 6, but I didn't. I really hope Raven plays again. Raven's a very underrated Survivor character.
I state this till the end of time. I understand that some season 18 players won't get it, because I will admit Raven's season 18 run, the activity dipped a little bit, but Raven is unironically probably the best newbie in season 17 whenever we talk about that. Raven was the best newbie in 17 by a landslide in my
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my interaction with Raven was very few.
from season 17 that we'll also get into today. We don't get to talk about their base moment.
All right. So hopefully we see these guys play again and potentially not get their asses kicked, because season 21 was rough for season 18 players.
Bro.
The best season 18 player was 13, though. Yo, 13, yay! 13. Zach was on 18. I fuck.
Zach,
Zach.
yeah, it was Zach.
I forgot Zach was on 18.
But don't get me started on 21, though.
Zach didn't do much in 18. He wasn't a bad character. It's just there's too many good characters in 18. There's no Zach screen time.
Well, people remember Zach for his crash out in season 16, which we'll get to when we get to season 16 at some point. Nick and Bob Ross.
I was so infuriated about season 21. I'm not going to get really into it, but bro, I was this close to just leaving the server with that kind of shit that was going on there, bro. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Well, on to season 19, also known as the season that we hated so much we started a season during it.
Bro, I think I was on prod for season 19, and I don't remember anything that happened.
Season 19, I think gets the title of the
Not
most.
here, by the way.
Okay, season 19, yeah.
Vic says he's coming. I don't know where Billy is, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, so season 19 is a season that happened.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I'll give season 19 some justice. The pre-merge of season 19 is actually good. The start of merge of 19 is good. It's just, and I say this with all due respect to the season 19 cast, boring. It was boring at the end. The later half of merge is boring. It has characters that if they were on any other Survivor season, maybe I would have more say. But I don't know. Seeing Billy is a great character, by the way. No offense to Billy or Butter or Saturn or anything. It's just we had one player on the cast that killed the morale of the entire production to the point that I honestly don't think we're gonna give you a fair shot this production. I'll say that before we continue. We apologize, 19.
Yeah. There is a couple notable. Oh, Vic made it home, so he'll be on VC soon.
Civ, before we continue with 19, I have one question for you.
What?
What did you see in season 19 that justified Con on season 21? Now's your time. Tell us.
Okay, so you know how I couldn't get Ghost on the season?
Oh my fucking god. Is that what happened here?
Yeah.
I'm
Which is
disappointed.
funny because Will and Khan were one of the rivalry alts. This is kind of season 21 talk, but whatever. Will and Khan were one of the rivalry alternates, which means our Survivor Rivals at Rampage winner is an alternate.
That explains a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Because, no offense to Will, when I saw Will in the cast, I was like, why? This is a genuine why. The Will and
Alright.
Con. Right, but yeah, let's move on.
Season 20, season 19. We had a lot of people. Well, first of all, we get probably my favorite Survivor player of all time. Definitely top 3. We get the legend Faith. Lord knows I love Faith.
Faith is such a good player that we even gave Faith a spot on the season 22 twist as an item.
Yeah. So yeah. Honestly, there's not a ton to talk about when it comes to the pre-swap portion. It's mainly the swap portion that gets crazy. The swap portion's a bloodbath.
How the
Much.
fuck did Cass make it to merge? My
Cass
genuine.
Cass somehow made it to merge. Did we have 1 or 2 idol outs at swap?
I think it was 2 idol outs, yeah. Or it was
Yeah.
1 idol out, and then James got eliminated because of I think it was an extra or someone flipped or something. The James elimination was the most wild one of the, because James, all intents and purposes, was running. I would say was running the game at that point. They had a good amount of power.
James was looking pretty good.
Was he number 1 in the Edgic at the time?
For season 19? Let me check.
Yeah.
Edgic
God for 2 seasons.
I know I didn't finish Civ 19 Edgic because I just got so pissed off as we got closer to the end that I just refused to finish it. Okay, let's see. So James was on the first episode Edgic. Actually, bye Cooper. Actually, you know what was crazy? Our main Edgic person, and this is, I think, why Edgic was such a shit show during the ladder, is because my main Edgic contender winner was Shallow, who missed out on merge. Yeah, we got freaking Marcus. Marcus from Gaboned.
It's weird.
Also,
there's stuff.
Siren Khan's also on my Edgic too, so haha.
The thing about 19 for me is that it should have been a good season. The swap was fun. It had some good character building, some good elimination. I think the first merge tribal is archived, I believe, with the multiple fire making idols and shit, or the 2 gambler idols and the fire making. If you remember that tribal,
it was such a. Also, Vic's on.
he's here to talk about the victim of the tribal, Vic. Segue.
Oh,
Vic,
wow.
we're talking about season 19.
Oh,
we
perfect.
were talking about the tribal that you got out because of fire making. Would you like to talk about your game?
All right.
So I was definitely thrust into a very interesting spot pre-merge wise. When TJ wanted to go after the alumni's and then not me, and then everyone was like, they're working together, and we kind of were, but I definitely was ready to cut him pretty early on just to stay alive. And then I found myself in a really weird position where I didn't really know who I can trust. But thankfully the swap happened and I got pretty close with Dev, although he wasn't really reciprocating it, as I found out later on. And then swap, I also had Indigo and Speed on my side. I pull off my my sacrifice of him for his money, which could've, like, changed the game if it wasn't for Indigo, not being on. He had, like, activity issues. I don't know if you've went over that yet.
No, not yet.
Alright, so I tried to make this big move, and it wouldn't work if Indigo wasn't on to pool our money. And then as soon as everything was in place, he just shuts down, and I'm like, "Fuck, I have to get rid of speed." So I get rid of speed, and then we get to the next tribal I go to where, I really didn't trust James or Saturn, and it ends up Dev being the swing vote. I forgot why he says he kept me around, but I feel like it was really stupid. But it worked.
I think the specific thing is that Dev was like, James is being a dictator. I'm angry, and then just.
Dev's
Oh,
also
yeah,
Dev's
I remember
also
that.
like a D1 hater.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
He just
real. I'm gonna state this for the camera. I know some people are gonna be like, Dev is one of my favorite Survivor players of all time. Honestly, he's not. They even had a good move in 19. They're they're D1 hater. It's beautiful.
yeah. Oh my god. He hated everyone and everything at every moment, and it kinda pissed me off, but I also kind of needed him, which was the worst part. I hated that I needed him, but what can you do, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so after I find out Saturn was pushing my name, I was just like, "I'm gonna cut off all contact with them," which was which was such a bad move going back, but it felt completely justified in the moment, and I don't know why. And Saturn even tries to, like, talk it over with me, and I'm just like, "I'm not hearing it." So we get to the first merge tribal, and I'm like, "Let's, uh, let's target Saturn," because I didn't like Saturn, and oh my god, that was so stupid. And I tell Dev, who I clocked earlier was a duo with Saturn, and it was such a bad move. Like, I've made bad plays, but that was definitely the worst one I've ever done. I have it I do I still have that photo? I took a screenshot of me realizing that they're a duo as soon as we meet at the swap, and then I just throw that out the window for something stupid. Anyways, of course, word gets back to Saturn, and they play a safety without power. Um, and I'm like, "Well, shit," again, right? Because things just couldn't go normally for me. Wait, so who do I try and go after? Ev No, I go after, Ro Rowan, yes, okay. So I go after Rowan, And then oh no, because I bought and I needed Dev's vote to take out Rowan. So oh, damn. Alright. So Dev starts throwing a hissy fit in the Alliance chat. It was me, him, Indigo, Whatso, and I feel like I'm missing something. Someone. No, it's just the 4 of us. So we fucking give him the idol to calm down. So then I give him my idol. Will plays his idol, which wins the coin flip. I wanna say Dev played his too and also won the coin flip, but I think he only got 1 vote, so it didn't matter. And then it ended up being me versus Rowan in fire making, and I I can't do app challenges, guys. It's really bad. And that's my game. Ta-da!
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you got first boot in your first season, and you got merge boot your second season. So maybe third time we'll see you be first in general.
Yeah, that's my plan if I come back.
Yeah.
It all depends on how busy I am, honestly.
Yeah. Fair enough. Anyways, also merge. We saw this huge rivalry between Dev and Cass, and it was so funny to watch Dev, because this happened at Tribal. Dev was just like screaming down at Cass as Tribal went on, and it's obviously not good on Dev, like jury management wise, but it's just kind of funny to see.
I mean, that was who Dev was. He instigated, he picked a lot of fights. He acted, dare I say, like a man-child. It worked,
He
and
did.
that's what he need. Like, I gave him the idol. He got Cass out. He made it to Final Tribal, I think, in his first season here. If
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
wrong.
Dev made a FTC and got well, not third, but tied for second.
Yeah. So it has gotten him far before.
Yeah.
I see why he did it. It worked again. And honestly,
Yeah.
if he goes with Moonlight and Butter, like who knows? I might have voted for him. I could have. No, I was still pissed at him at the time. No, I probably wouldn't have voted for him.
Fair enough. So another big talk, this part is unfortunate because I actually really like this player. As we saw Indigo strike out, I think the round
Oh.
after, and
Oh,
I don't know, he just seemed like a chill player, not exactly
Yeah.
not like a high tier player, but he was just like one of those chill casual players, you know.
yeah. Oh my god. Me and Indigo were like this. I know you can't see me, but you know what I'm alluding to. We were
Yeah.
we were each other's number ones, and
And then
I was
we see the most confusing elimination after this strikeout.
which one was that? Was that what's the Whatso
That was
vote?
Rowan. He had like multiple idols in his pocket or some shit. He could have pulled a siren before a siren, if you
He
understand
had
what I
like
mean.
2 idols and I believe a steel vote in his pocket.
And he was
Or
the only
maybe,
one finding idols too. He was like the idol god of the season. And he was
yeah,
just like, nah, safe. It just went home. He knew he was being targeted, didn't he?
I mean, he
And
had
then was
to,
just like,
given
it was so obvious. And then he's just like, nah, I'm gonna hold. I forgot there was even a Cats vote before the Indigo vote. That's how forgetful Cat.
Yeah. Cass, bro.
You forgot about Cats.
And that was wait, what happened? Oh, did he play an idol at the Cass tribal?
No, nothing was played. I think everyone just went fuck Cass.
It would have been
Like Cass.
I think Cass went out on like a 9-2 vote or something, like super one-sided. Very little people actually wanted to vote Dev out at the time.
which is crazy because it's Dev, but whatever.
Yeah. So going forward on that, after Ryland gets voted out, it's kind of like I forget if it's like OG tribe lines versus OG tribe lines, but it's like Alliance versus Alliance. Watso, Moonlight, Butter, and Billy versus Saturn, Inju, Dev, and Khan, with Will kind of as a swing vote, and then Will votes out Watso and then flips on Khan, which is why we get Will on Rivals at Rampage. So yeah, and then Will gets voted out promptly after.
So
Yeah, I was still seeming.
Will's benefit in his Survivor career because it actually got him on the season.
Yeah, he got himself voted out at
$200 winning move.
$200 like months in advance winning move.
I mean, if I'm correct, Will got like idled out, right?
Yeah, he did actually.
Because it was like Will was originally with like Butter, Billy, and Moonlight, but then Will was like, "Nah, I like the Inju side better, Dev and Saturn." And then they just went, "Well, fuck you. You're going home then. If you won't vote with us, we're voting you out."
Yeah.
And they did that.
And then it was like full on alliance warfare. We saw people on both sides get out. We saw Dev finally go.
No. I remember what the Will elimination was. I'm being crazy. This was the best vote out of this.
What was it?
This is Dev's finest move. This was Dev's move, getting Will out, I believe. Because what ended up happening is I think it was like Inju or Saturn or something going home. But then Dev was like Billy, Moonlight, and Butter like splitting or something. Like we should vote Will.
Oh yeah, I remember now. There was a split vote on Will, 3-2-2.
Yeah.
And then Dev just flipped it to make it 3-2-2 on Will.
Yeah, and it was going to be like I think Inju or Saturn was going to go home if Dev didn't do that. Dev was like, "Wait a second, guys, we're being fucking idiots. Wake up and save the day." That's how Will got out. It wasn't an idol. It was that
And then Dev got voted out.
via an idol, I believe. I think that was the idol round. Was this round? Because Butter. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I think this is where Butter lost the game. Butter had the Gambler's Idol, I believe, because Rowan gave Butter the Gambler's Idol.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Butter and Rowan were really close.
Yeah, and Butter has the idol and is thinking about flipping to get Billy out, and then proceeds to give it to Billy.
Man, where the fuck is Saturn? She could like clear up like 80% of this.
I swear.
I'm not the best source for all of this.
But like, so the Gambler's Idol is used, I think, on Billy, which takes Dev out because they want to keep Saturn in. Because Saturn's kind of becoming close Butter and Moonlight. Like, if anyone's gonna take out Billy for them, it's gonna be Saturn because Inju wins the game if they make it to the end in a fucking landslide. But
Yeah.
and then I think
So
Inju wins Final 5, which causes Billy to go home. The
yeah.
saddest elimination of the season.
Yeah, Billy. He was such a cool dude, such a cool chap, and then got voted out. Which left
I
us
think this
with
like kind of yeah.
which left us with
I
Inju
don't
as
know.
the best remaining player of season 19, which is Inju. We'll talk about Inju a lot in season 16, but Inju's a character, all right.
This is what I'll say about season 18, and this is kind of how I view it. I feel the reason that the energy of the season for production died out is that the frontrunners are people that we weren't expect. All the cool characters got eliminated at the start of merge. Losing Vic, Rowan, and Indigo killed the season, in my opinion. Just
Absolutely.
back to back to back.
Watso
death.
too. Watso was pretty cool, and I'm not saying I don't like Saturn or Billy.
No, we
like
don't.
they're cool.
It's just like it was kind of what we thought it was going to be cookie cutter, the way the season was going to end. Luckily, the ending surprised us in a very good way.
Yeah.
Is it weird to say I think Saturn is officially the best FTC person for winning that FTC?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty close. And honestly, since NGU vote is kind of straightforward, we can kind of talk about FTC a little bit on Vic's side at least. So, Vic, I don't have my voting chart with me. So, who did you vote to win season 19, and why did you vote them?
Oh, I was the last vote for Saturn, surprisingly enough. And I just felt like Butter and Moonlight didn't really have as active games. Plus, I felt like Saturn, like at least at the start of the merge, was going through a lot of stuff. I guess with me, um, and I guess I think it was just the way that they went through it all just kind of made me feel like they had more than the others. Like I don't think I was ever gonna vote Butter, to be quite fair, but that was what I had in mind.
All right. That's fair. So, yeah, Saturn won a 4-3-2 vote. I do want to talk, and this is why I wish Billy was here, because this is the biggest blind side of season 19 in my opinion. Billy doesn't vote Moonlight to win FTC. He actually voted for Butter.
I'll be realistic. If Billy votes,
over Moonlight.
If Billy votes for Moonlight, I think Moonlight wins.
Yeah.
It would be Butter's vote, right? He would definitely pick Moonlight.
It would be 4
There's
4
no
4
question.
1. Butter definitely tie breaks and votes Moonlight, I feel.
Moonlight and Butter were like a very tight duo to the point that Butter was afraid to blindside Billy because they would.
Yeah, it had to be like a blind side that Moonlight agreed to or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Which, like, I feel like that's why I feel like, at least in my opinion, although the grades don't agree with me when I make this statement, that's why I feel like Saturn is the best winner out of the three. Because with Moonlight and, like, Butter, they are playing to win, I'll say this. They are, like, trying to win, but like, they're just trying to get a very specific group to the end without really considering how it goes at FTC. Saturn is trying to fight the system and just gets kicked in the head again and again only to win. Probably the biggest underdog win of Survivor, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel there are other underdog wins like comp outs and stuff like that, But Saturn's underdog win isn't a comp out. It's like, I don't want to say Natalie level or something, or not Natalie.
It's not Natalie level. It's
Yeah.
I'd say it's like Here's a good example.
There's no good example, honestly, in the Survivor ethos, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like the best way I could describe this is like how I don't want to say Gabler, but I kind of feel like it's a Gabler.
Saturn's kind of like a Sophie win, I feel.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. It's like Moonlight is kind of Coach in a way, where it's like the edit and stuff like that, you expect them to win, but then the jury is like, but why? just But Moonlight doesn't have a bad FTC, so I don't feel like calling him Coach. Everyone had a good FTC. Saturn's just likable. That's Saturn's great quality.
Saturn's got that Erica Lamb the Lion edit going on.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's all we can say about season 19. We can go back.
You got anything you want to add to season 19 before we do season 20, Vic?
I mean, that was definitely one of the most awkward boot orders you could possibly think of with a cast like this.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like, how do I describe this? I know we're not having the season 17 podcast yet. Season 17 is hated because there are a lot of... Season 19 is hated because you just don't care.
Season 17 cast is a good cast, but bad group. Season 19 cast is like the reverse. It's a good group, but the cast's not quite there.
It needed a start. I feel like this is what makes the good Survivor season. Every good Survivor season has like a very, very good main character. Season 3 has Rabbi and Harry. And like season 9 has like... Their season 9 has like Evan. Like every good Survivor season needs like the one character that has a bunch of energy that keeps the momentum going. Season 19 just doesn't have that. It doesn't have a main character.
Yeah, and then everyone just kind of gets like lumped into the same boat because I felt like in the jury, at least, like as soon as I got there, I know a few people I probably wouldn't vote had they reached FTC, but it was a toss up between like 5 or 6 people. And I feel like that shouldn't be happening.
Like that's how and that's the thing I do like about, and I wish we had more FTCs like this. I don't, and this would be a hot take. I don't like FTCs where it's like a clear-cut, obvious win. Like sometimes it's cool, like EG becoming the first unanimous winner of Survivor is cool. But you also like seeing, you know, a 4-3-2. You never get to see that stuff most of the time.
I think my favorite FTC of all time is the season 9 FTC, honestly. I think that's one of my favorites, at least.
That's fair.
Because like it's a 5-3, or Akio and Peppers, actually. That's what I was thinking of.
Season
Akio
4?
versus Peppers is such a good FTC. I mean, we don't really have any close good FTCs in Survivor, and that's like no offense to like players or stuff like that, or like juries or anything. It's just we've never really had a close battle happen at FTC.
We do have. Aside from Saturn versus Moonlight, which I think is a good battle, I think we do have one more in Era 3 that we haven't gotten to yet, and we won't get to till season 16 to 17, which is a Dom versus Lick. I think that one's a pretty close matchup. But
okay, I'm gonna be real. I think it's a close matchup, and I say this with all due respect to the jury of season 17. See for me, like straight up. I want to like that FTC. I can't because the jury doesn't make sense, and I'll state that till the end of time.
Oh yeah, actually, I understand that.
it's like it would have been a good FTC if like the jury member gave more thoughts instead of just Lick had a really good FTC response there, guys. We're all Lick fans, and then
And then none of them vote Lick.
they
Is that-
don't
is that-
let Lick win. They're like, we like Lick, anyways. Because if I remember, we'll talk about this when we get this, but like the live reaction of me and Civ was like, the fuck?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in season 17.
Anyways,
So
bring
yeah,
on the best season of Era 3 other than 18. Let's go. EG.
Season 20, we brought in what, in my opinion, is what I think is the best twist. Actually, I still think my map twist is better, but the second best twist that I've come up with in Survivor.
Actually, okay, I'll be real. I know what you're talking about, season 4, right? When you say
Yeah.
map twist.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be real. It's 20. As someone that ran the 4-1 and played the 21, I think 20's better.
Okay, fair enough. So essentially, season 20 was kind of like a hybrid season a little bit. This was our first season ran off of the spin-off server I made because I wanted to start making Deal or No Deal Island seasons, Trader seasons, Destination X
You wanted to give
seasons,
people $4.
Format lets me get this.
Dancing with the Stars, which will happen at some point. So
Dancing with
Did
the
you just say that?
yeah.
What? No,
Oh my
no.
God.
Elaborate. You don't get to continue. Elaborate.
We're not
What?
doing Dancing with the Stars. Come on.
You'll
I
find
require
out.
if you're
You
able to
don't
pull
get
that
to-
off, that's gonna be.
If you
Love
can
Island.
pull it off, you-
Are we doing Love Island?
Yeah, but I gotta play.
Are we just gonna like type out song lyrics?
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So
That's not. That's the lip sync battle format.
true. But yeah, season 20 twist. I had a very ingenious plan, where basically tribes are split up into 3 tribes of 7, and 2 people on each tribe would be considered the writers. And this is the Death Note themed season, by the way. So it kind of makes sense because there's a lot of people with Death Notes, I guess. And so 6 writers altogether, and every night before their challenge is over, they band together and discuss if they're voting someone before the tribal. So basically, everyone gets a free extra vote. However, you can vote for anyone on any tribe. So, as that happens, if a detective votes out a writer, they get a prize. And this lasted all the way to Final 6. And so our writers were there were Joffy, Doug, E.G. Siren, and who were the other 2?
Casey and James.
Casey
James and Casey.
Fun fact: only 2 writers got voted out before the twist ended.
To be fair, Casey probably would have gotten
No,
voted
Casey
out.
won, so
Yeah, that's
Well,
why I said 2 got
Doug
voted
and
out.
Doug and
Joffy
Joffy.
and
Yeah.
Doug.
So, E.G., you were the initial writer because there were 3 initial writers chosen and they get to choose their partner. So, E.G., as you were chosen to be a writer, what was your strategy going into the start of the season?
Well, first of all, I really wanted to be a writer when I saw the twist. And you had, on the application, we could basically select what we wanted to be, and obviously we're going to divide us depending on what best campaigns were, I guess. And I really wanted to be a writer pre-season. I really wanted to, have as big an influence on the game from day one as I can with that extra vote that we were going to be given. So I was really happy that I was selected to be a writer, and also seeing the cast, I was happy that I wouldn't be the biggest name on the board, because that was my fear coming into the season, is that I'm coming in with a reputation. In season 14, went really far, and are people going to target me because I'm a big returning player coming into a half and half season? So seeing the likes of Siren, seeing Pierce, seeing Martel, I guess,
Morgan.
Morgan, made me quite happy that at least I'm going to have a few people by my side that will need to keep me in the game early on. And I think once I saw Siren was on my initial tribe, I think the decision was obvious. I needed to have somebody from day one that could be my duo, could be my sort of trust partner, the way that Civ was in season 14. And Siren is looking for anybody because former winner, probably the biggest name in the community, aside from Civ, he's going to be looking for any allies in that early stage. So I needed to get him on my side, and we had a 4-3 deficit on our initial tribe as well between the veteran and the newbies. So having 2 veterans with extra votes was going to ensure that as long as we didn't betray each other, we would at least make the swap. So I did almost consider recruiting Lachlan, because Lachlan was inactive in the first 2 days, and we would get an advantage if we voted off a writer. So a part of me was thinking, okay, maybe I can recruit Lachlan and just vote him out first and try and go for an advantage, but that was going to be a very risky strategy because anybody could get the advantage. I'd have to convince everybody to hand me that advantage, and at the end of the day, I valued having a number one that will also like to work with me for long term, and also having that security of we're going to at least make the swap if we stick together and use those extra votes. So that was why I went with Siren as my second writer.
All right. Siren, what was your strategy going into the season? Why did you want to be a writer?
Well, okay, that's the thing. I didn't.
Oh.
If you don't remember that, I think
Sorry.
No. Okay, this is the funny thing. Okay, so I get into the game. So before the game, I was like, I don't want to be a writer. I'm Siren. Anyone's gonna look for any reason to kick my ass. And then I get into the game and I get on my tribe, and the first immediately thinking is, "Fuck! I regret every decision I've ever made. I don't like this tribe. Please make me a writer." So when he approached me, I was just like, yes, anything. Although, I feel like this takes some context. I'd like to thank Civ for the way he built our tribe, because this is a marooning conversation that actually affected the game. Because at marooning, me and Conan were actually VCing and like talking, and I was like, "Yeah, you were on C6." And we were talking about all. And so I was like talking to Conan, and Conan was like, "Man, And then Morgan walks in, and me, Conan, and Morgan were like, "We could be a pretty cool trio." And I swap, and I see Conan and EG, and the first thing I did was, "I'm getting with these two. They are my friends. Get me off this tribe. I'm not going home. This is too bad of a tribe buildup." And then like Xander. Yeah, I feel like I got lucky with the way the tribes ended up in being a writer. I'd like to thank EG. I wasn't sold if I was going to make EG my duo or Conan my duo until EG did that, so that was probably the best. It didn't matter
Yes,
at
I
the
think
end of the day.
it was very easy for all 3 of us at the time in the pre-swap to just say we're going to be together, because Otherwise, we're gonna get annihilated. We're gonna look for cracks in those newbies and try and take advantage of it. And we got lucky that we had Lachlan as well, who needed to find a way to escape that first tribal, and sided with us over JJ.
Well, okay, the thing is, and I guess we'll talk about our first tribal. I don't think either of us go home anyways because
No, we
Xander
don't,
is always.
because we had extra votes.
Well, no, because Xander as well. Xander was there with us before law. Or Xander was with me. I get to talk about this. I knew about the idol way before you and Conan did. I told Xander not to tell anyone about it.
Yeah, and I guess he did eventually.
Because Xander was talking to me, and he's like, "You tell me if you're like my best ally," and I was just sitting here, just like, "No, I wouldn't." And he's like, "E.G. and Conan are right. You need them to be my allies. I'll go show them the idol." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like,
Yeah,
"What the
and
fuck?"
it's like, you were right in a sense as well, because my first thought when Xander showed me the idol was, fuck, this guy is really scary. He's like the only newbie that's actively socializing, and he has the idol. You gotta fucking get rid of him as soon as possible.
My entire like pre-swap game, and Sim can attest to this, is just me having one attack.
You were just damage control the whole tribe on your own, basically.
No. I'm like guys, it's gonna be easy. And then Lachlan comes up to me like, JJ and Rami are gonna destroy you. And then I'm just like, what? Fuck me. JJ's going, I guess. I'll be fully real, and I think Sim will agree. I think that is the only pre-merge that I will fully state that I was overplaying my hand. I was guns blazing.
Yeah.
I
think the writer power went to your head.
The entertainment-wise, it was an insane pre-merge from the two of us, and then somehow the post-merge was even worse.
Because like, I think I played everything properly. I don't think I was like overplaying of a bad degree. It was just the position I was in where it was just like, I'm already getting fired at. I have to turn the gears up. And then, oh god, can we talk about this?
Anyway, so might as well shoot instead of dodging, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm already getting shot at by this fucker. I'm gonna tackle them to the ground. They can't get rid of me. I know Xander has the idol. Nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no, it all went wrong.
That would have been such a fucking funny elimination. No, I mean, I guess we have to talk about the fact that EG basically nuked Xander's game in the pre-merge. Thanks, EG. Thanks, buddy.
No, it's funny because we had like a 3 to 4 hour session with Siren, the pre-swap, which ultimately we never went to another tribal. And it would have been a Rami boot anyway, but I was fully sold on the idea that if we go to another tribal, we go and get Xander out and blindside him with an idol. And I had no clue that Siren and Xander were that close, and I was just pitching the Siren, pitching, get Xander out.
It's like, what the fuck? My allies are fighting already! Why? Mikey!
And I was like, come on, it's going to be so legendary. It's going to be such an insane blindside. And
Fuck you!
Raging.
Why am I telling me this?
It's funny
and then
how
it gets
Siren...
worse because before the swap, we agreed to this idea that I'm going to leak Xander's idol to the rest of the writers.
I just accepted that I had to allow that to happen. I was like, I'm going to compromise with EG. He can do Because
yeah,
like,
I was gonna fucking do it anyway. I just wanted you to agree.
yeah, I was like, I kind of knew. I was just like, I'm just gonna, because like, if push comes to shove, I will just tell Xander to play the idol and act like I know, and no one will ever figure it out. And even if they do, they won't get angry at me because who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
I'm
and
Siren.
the funniest thing about all of this is that I hated Rami as well. I could have very easily just sat back and done nothing.
Yeah, like we all
I had
hated
a very-
Rami.
I had a very one-sided beef with Rami.
Oh, fucking yeah, Eggy, the greatest
He was
player of
calling me
all
Eggy.
time. Eggy.
But it's like I will accept it if we already have a bond and it's sort of cutesy. But we've exchanged 3 messages and you're already calling me Eggy. Like we're friends for 10 years or whatever. Fuck you.
I'll be real. I'll state this till the end of time. If I wasn't told that JJ was very actively trying to get me out, said the trying to get me out, I would have 100% voted out Rami that round. I
Not Lachlan?
yeah, or no, yeah. I honestly, if Lachlan was any of the bit, if Lachlan started being active during the tribal, and JJ agreed to it, I would have just voted out Rami. Honestly,
Yeah. I mean,
I
I'd been fine with it, honestly.
I
I
like
wouldn't have caused
JJ.
a
That's
fuss
the weird
over a
thing.
money boost. Except I did that in the very first round.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I think Civ gets to talk about this now. I'm gonna segue into this. Go talk about KJ. Have fun.
Oh yeah.
Safe.
So
Go.
for the past so for season 15, Morgan has been kind of on a hero redemption story. He's been working the game. He's been, redeeming his name. And so season 21 comes around and he's paired up with KJ on the tribe. And so KJ decides to do realistically not much of anything. And Morgan loses it during tribal. Because KJ costed them the challenge pretty much. And so Morgan just goes off on KJ in confessional. It's so funny because even in like early Morgan days, you've never seen Morgan this mad. It's always just like he's always just attempting to be kind, but season 21 he just couldn't take it anymore. He had to lash out.
I'll be 100% real. From what I heard, KJ did kind of pull a Chewy, so it was deserved at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I get to
from
talk
what I
about.
heard, KJ basically stalled tribal to the full 24 hours for no reason.
Yeah, my
Which now that I'm finally on production, I can understand why it would make people mad.
I mean, I think the funniest part about those tribals is that the idol is on that tribe the entire time for both. And KJ's just
Yeah,
stalling and not going
nobody
for
found
him.
it. Nobody found it.
Yeah, well, someone
Because
found it, just not one.
apparently the idols this season are just for Siren.
Yeah. I paid him $50
It's
to
fucking
make me look good.
magnetized, the idols.
I paid Civ $50 to make me look good. He expected to pay that much for Deal or No Deal Island. But of course, Joshua couldn't find a good case for the life of him.
So Civ gained $46 and he gained a good season out of it.
Actually, you got good money.
Hella cash, bro.
I mean, I guess the
I can
other
buy a
tribal
full tank of gas.
I don't know much about this, so you're gonna have to clue me in. I
The
know there
Martell
was
tribe.
The Martell
No.
tribal was actually a little chaotic, actually. At first Pius's name was thrown around. Then it was then it was Joffy, and then Doug, and then finally they
Doug
finally
should have been
agreed.
eliminated, man. Doug should have been kicked.
Aren't you having a good time doing this podcast, EG?
Good morning, emoji. How are you doing today?
He didn't even give me that. Doug would not talk to me. Civ can attest to that. After we voted out Joffy, Doug was just like, Siren is the... If you
Yeah.
asked Doug what was the hero of the season, Doug would have said that you're insane.
So it was finally agreed upon to finally put it on Martel. And Martel, here's the thing, and I mean, you guys kind of know this, but not to the full extent. When Martel saw cast reveal, he wanted to be on tribe with EG just so he could vote EG out. He was
Oh,
so
I'm
pissed
aware
at
of that.
EG
I'm
for
aware of
season
that. I read
14.
Martel's confessional after the season, and
I mean,
not only
didn't
did
Pius play an
Martel
idol at
vote
that?
me out, but also Martel was slagging me off in confessional for trauma dumping on the marooning chat when it was just basic socializing. I'm telling you things about my life so that I'm endearing and I look this sort of innocent figure that you don't want to vote out. And he's calling it trauma dumping. It's ridiculous. And all of this
Yeah.
because of an orc from 3 years ago. I'm sure it's not because of Civ 14. It's probably because of Luna.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with Civ 14. That was Alan's call.
Okay, yeah, you're right, Siren. PS did play an idol.
I was like, I heard
Yeah,
about that because
that was the first of Pierce wasting idols.
look, it's not his fault
Okay.
that I'm not good at the game. It's not his fault.
Let's talk
No,
about
Pierce is a good player. Pierce is a good player, and we'll talk about it more in the top 10. Pierce is a great player, but he didn't do very well with idols in season 20.
and before we go to swap, let's talk about Martel's iconic final words. Yes, I have no fucking clue what's up your ass, but fuck you. Ren, chaotic, crazy, and just wouldn't listen. At Sunny fucking pussy. At, at Joffy baby, pretty good player. At Doug Dimmadab, chill AF. So mean.
Oh my god. I have no clue who Martel is. Like, I just can't get a read on the guy. I've played with him 3 times. And he's dry as fuck in chats. And at the same time, he's like this super chaotic, energetic player. I have no clue what's going on.
It's like he's a groundhog. Like he only comes out when there's like shadows around or something. When there's tribal council shadows. Oh, Martel made it past pre-merge. 2 days of extra winter, or 2 weeks, or whatever the fuck, however it works.
It's funny because I actually, when I saw Martel on the cast, well, when Martel saw me on the cast, he was like, I gotta be on a tribe with EG to vote his ass out. When I saw Martel, I was like, okay, another vet that I'm familiar with. Maybe we can finally work together this time.
I'll be real. I saw Martel, and the first thing I thought is, oh yeah. Anyways, I'll be real. I forgot how Martel ever played in Survivor. I just forgot.
So,
Should we get into the swap, maybe, Siren?
For legal reasons, I'm gonna take the swap first because EG's is more interesting.
Yeah, and also because we need Siren to react to the stuff that I did.
Fuck you. Oh hell. Don't remind me. Well, we'll talk about our rounds of swap in order. I think the Ramy vote was first, right?
Yeah. Did anything happen there, though? I think it was just unanimous, no?
There's actually some information that needs to be talked about here. It's
Okay.
just quick. Because this is where me and Pius made our connection. Because Pius only told me about the Idol story. I thought Pius would have told everyone. He was just like, yeah, I played Idol and stuff. So, but, I mean, no, I just walked in the swap. Me, Xander, James, and Morgan made, or me, Xander, or it was me, Xander, James, and Morgan. We made an alliance, and then me, James, and Casey made an alliance because we were writers. But me and James were both just like, so when are we gonna get rid of Casey? We didn't trust Casey. We just like, when? I was so fixated on Ramy. That was my vocabulary for the whole first tribal. It was, he's getting the vets. We need to kill him. Vets, assemble. We can't allow this to happen.
And it was true, to be fair.
It was true.
He sided with JJ in the first tribal.
Yeah, he did. So after that, we have the Conan tribal, right? Which
Okay.
so funny.
I am gonna attempt to justify this. Because I do think that there's... Look, I'm not saying it's a good move, but there is... It's not completely, like, out of the realm of logic.
It's a Gouda move.
So... It's a good move, yeah. So... first reaction when I see the swap tribe is I'm probably fucked. Because we had 4 people from original Yotsuba, and 2 of them are writers. So I swapped with Joffy, Doug, and then Suni and Ren. So I knew that these 4 have the ability to control the votes if they just stick together. If it's OG tribal lines, they're able to control the vote. And then at the same time, there's only one SPK, Gilberto, which means that it's easier to pick Gilberto up as a number than to pick up the 3 of us from OG FBI, which was me, Conan, and Lachlan, the Australian rat. So I just kind of put myself in the shoes of these OG YouTubers, and I was like, they'll probably want to get rid of one of the OG FBIs at the first swap tribal. That's what I would have done. And additionally, from the 3 OG FBIs, who's the biggest name? Who's the one that Joffy and Doug could potentially look to get out to get an advantage? Like, I was the very, very, very logical first target at that swap tribe, so I was really worried. And my strategy was to try and blend in with the OG YouTubers as much as I can. Try and be like, I'm here to be a number to you guys. I know you guys are probably going to dominate this tribe. I'm not going to try to find cracks. I'm here to be with you. I will sacrifice anybody and anything just to keep me for a few more rounds. And I think I did well in that regard because I was the only OG FBI whose name was never thrown at any point during the swap phase. Never. Lachlan was going to be the boot at the first tribal we went to until it switched to Conan. And then Lachlan was going to be the boot at our second tribal before it switched to Ren. So I did a good job in making sure that my name was never in the conversation. Now, in regards to the Conan thing, Conan really worried me because he was saying openly in alliance chats that I was involved in as well that he's very, very worried about the fact that all 6 writers are still in the game, and that he actively wanted to look towards, hunting writers and making sure that we even the playing field a little bit. And I also knew that Conan, and I thought at the time, because we weren't really talking all that much in one-on-ones, I thought that Conan was closer to other people than he was to me. So those two combined, I was like, it might be a good idea for me to get Conan out, because if you're actively hunting writers, well, I'm a writer, here I am, I've got other avenues to work with outside of Conan, because I've got 2 other writers in there with me and I'm blending in with the YouTubers. So I thought it was going to be a good move for me. And I also really wanted to utilize the twist. Civ said it. It's the best twist we've had since season 4 or whatever. So I was like, the best outcome for this twist would be if we managed to band the writers together for a vote and have people from the other tribes just band together and vote Conan out. So I reached out to the writers' chat and in voice messages as well. It wasn't even fucking text. That's how pivotal that thing was. And I was like, guys, Conan is saying we need to get writers out as quickly as possible. I would really appreciate it if you put your votes on Conan, even the writers on the other tribes. And what was your reaction when you heard those voice messages?
Fuck
Siren?
you. That's what I mean. Genuinely, my reaction. Like, me and James, we had a conversation about this. There was more than me just being angry about you going after Conan. Because me and James were talking. Even James was kind of pissed about what you were doing. Because we were like, no, we're focusing on our tribe. Shit.
I mean, I didn't make you do it. I was literally in the voice messages. I was like, it would be perfectly fine if you didn't help, because I realized that you're on your own tribes.
Yeah, I mean, what ended up
I
happening.
knew I wasn't probably getting anything. I knew it.
You just shouldn't have said it, because James was like, he's trying to jeopardize us. James thought you were like sabotaging us.
No, I genuinely didn't.
So bad. And then I was sitting there in my comp like, what the fuck, man? It was me, you, Conan, and Xander. Keep going after allies. Stop going after my allies. and like,
You do realize
also,
why I did it, though. You do.
no,
You do
fuck
sort of
you.
get the logic behind it.
I'm still angry, and I'll always be angry because I had to leak everything to Xander because of your stupid ass. Because it was so obvious.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, I did. No, because
Why?
and Civ could testify to this.
I
Wait,
never
what's the
went after
question?
you.
No, I had to leak everything. Xander was my main ally, other than you. And
So I'm also a main ally.
What's the question?
What you're saying?
We're just having, because the thing is, and Civ can testify to this. Everyone thought the writers, other than JJ when they got out, was EG and Conan. I was getting away with it. And then he votes out Conan. And Xander
Ren
comes
thought it was Lachlan. Ren thought it was Lachlan. And when Conan went out, Ren was literally in tribal chat. He was saying, how is Lachlan getting away with this?
No, the thing is, the moment Conan goes, the moment Conan goes and it says he's a detective, Xander literally comes up to me and he's just like, so you were a writer, Siren? And I'm like, fuck! You! And then Xander wasn't even angry at me, was the funny part. He was just like, He was angry with you. He was good with me. I leaked everything. I was like, EG leaked your idol to the writers. He's
That's
the
why I
reason
wanted to get
Conan
rid of
won.
that. Is looking up.
This is, you know, but like honestly, whenever we swapped again, I'll just say this quickly. I had to basically do
Yeah,
damage
there's
control.
actually more to unpack with the Conan tribal.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
simple vote in any sense.
Oh no.
No, I mean like I agree.
Lachlan
like-
was leaving until 30 minutes to go.
Honestly, I would have wished you got rid of Lachlan. I love Lachlan to
Fucking
death.
worked out. We both made Final Four. What do you mean?
Fuck you, I like Conan. He's my ally. Stop taking my ally.
You like Conan? Did you fucking see the crash out he had after leaving? Did you not hear
It's
that he
Conan.
fucking DM'd players?
I did. I'm not talking about like after the game, but in the game, yes, I would have that moment.
This is our season 20 duo, ladies and gentlemen.
Fuck you. No, the season 20 duo is me and Idols.
Wow.
No. The official awards state that we were the best duo of the season. We worked together despite all our differences and made it to Final Four. That's what the official awards state.
It's we had a therapist off screen. We don't talk about it. They removed it from the edit. We had to go to duos counseling.
So anyway,
think
getting into more of the details of the Conan tribal.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that all that time, Conan and Lachlan were really trying to find cracks within the YouTubers. They never really, even though they were the two people that most likely to go home, they weren't sort of targeting each other. They were trying to switch it over to a third person. And the idea that Lachlan came up with was to copy and paste the messages he sent to Siren about JJ, switch the names around, and try to find cracks within the YouTubers. And, I think he sent it to Ren and told Ren that Joffy's coming after him. So Ren actually fucking believes Lachlan for some reason and has a public crash out in tribal chat with like 2 hours to go and just fucking blows everything up when it was an easy Lachlan vote. And all that time, I just went to Joffy because at the time I really wanted to get close to Joffy and have sort of another fellow writer by my side. And I was like, don't worry about it. The message is fake. Stick to the plan. Which the plan was Lachlan at the time. And then tribe got so chaotic and people really didn't know what they were doing. And we came up with sort of a split vote between Conan and Lachlan, which was the perfect avenue for me to say, okay, since we're doing a split vote and we already put our writer votes on Conan, how about the three of us put our regular votes on Conan and pretend it's part of the split vote, and that way we have enough to take him out. It's a ridiculously ballsy idea. It should have gone wrong because we basically publicly ousted ourselves as writers. But the thing is, we didn't because Ren, for some reason, believed that Lachlan was the writer. And so, I don't know, it fucking worked out. And another reason why it worked out is because we escaped that tribal and there were cracks in the YouTubers. Because from that point on, Joffy never trusted Ren again. And we were able to turn it around in the next tribal as well. And actually, me and Lachlan were finally able to infiltrate the YouTubers and get Ren out. So, I don't care. It worked perfectly. I'm not going to hear anything.
It didn't work out perfectly for you. You had a pissed off Siren for a couple episodes.
and I still managed in the second swap to get there and repair the relationship pretty much immediately.
You didn't repair it. I just wanted Xander to live and knew you'd do it. I'll be real.
Okay, the reason doesn't matter. It still repaired itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that. It was
Both
just like, it was
with you
less.
and with Xander. And even with James, the
No,
three
I
of
had
you
to
were
repair.
pissed at me. I swapped with all three of you, and still, again, my name was never in the conversation. So I'm not hearing anything.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, me and James like talked about it, and we were just like, yeah, we trust you.
Yeah.
Because we. Why would? Okay, I'm gonna be real. Voting out Joffy was 100% not the fair move. Doug was definitely like, if we weren't expecting to merge, we should have voted.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. And I think we talked about it as well. We were just like, it's between those two. Who do we want at the merge? Do we want the good player or do we want the bad player? We'll take the bad player. So that's why we ended with the Joffy vote.
All right.
Which leads us to the merge.
Yep, merge. Which well, it was a
The
merger,
the
right?
the first plot armor moment of the season.
Yeah. This is like, so for context, Doug had an idol. And
I do want to ask Steve what production's reaction was when Doug of all people got the idol.
I'll be honest, at the time,
Were you
Doug
pissed?
at the time, Prod kind of liked Doug, but by the time merge hit, Doug was kind of just annoying. Like, Doug
Yeah,
was just.
and the funny thing is Doug rather play the best play?
Your mic bugged out a little.
Is Doug's idol play the best idol play of the season?
Well,
No,
it's kind of a low bar. Well, what
no,
other idol plays were there in season
Is it
20?
you at Final Five?
I think it's V at Final 5 because it's funny. Because
Yeah.
I was not online.
Yeah, no,
and
I meant the most like correctly used sort of idol play.
I'll say this. I'll say this much. I'd
Final
say
Five
yes.
feels kind of obvious. Like you weren't gonna do it on anybody else other than yourself. Even
I'm
my plea
going.
was fake as fuck. I knew you were gonna play it on yourself. I just wanted to throw
Yeah.
off Lachlan.
Yeah, because Doug had a good plan. It's just, I'd say Doug has the best idol play in theory, just because obviously plot armor comes in and saves EG. If that didn't happen, EG's a first merge
If that
boot.
doesn't happen, Doug is a legend.
Doug idles out the Greek god. Imagine the alternative universe.
Doug is a cyber legend if that happens.
Gilberto strike voting is a canon event.
I will say this. If EG got out that way, I unironically think my game is better. If Gilberto doesn't self-vote. I mean, it's true, because I still have Pius giving me... They probably wouldn't have blindsided 10 if you went home. Because the issue was me, you, and Xander. If you go home, there's no issue anymore.
Come on, man.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
This is not a way to treat a duo.
Siren will do anything to dissuade himself from a duo.
Okay, no, listen to me.
This is the America versus world strat, isn't it? Trying to downplay the duo alliance. I see how it is.
I'm gonna make a public statement.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so funny if me and Siren play again and we just overplay the beef.
Whenever we do Australia or America versus the world, I'm not gonna play it. I'm publicly saying that I won't play it.
Damn.
Because no, there's a reason I won't
right
play
now,
it.
I'm not playing it either. I'm not playing
There's
it
a
either.
reason I won't. Because
Right now.
I want I want to host it for a very specific reason, and I think Civ understands what I mean by that.
Oh, I get where you're going with this.
I think I need to not play one flagship so that a player that deserves to be on a flagship can play one.
Yeah.
The only reason I would play America versus the world, and I don't want to sound egotistical when I say this, I feel I'm the most popular American winner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like, aren't you the most popular in general winner?
No, I don't think.
I mean,
I'd
when you
say-
think of Survivor players, you think of Siren, right?
Yeah.
No, you think of Evan before me though. I think
No.
Evan's American.
Evan,
I mean,
Evan's
it
a better
depends.
player,
It depends.
but he
Evan's
doesn't
winning
have
game.
like.
Evan's overall, like, the 2 games
It's
he's
like-
played
It's
are, I
like
guess, a more
comparing.
consistent run.
It's like
but-
comparing Kim Spradlin's name to Boston Rob's name. Like, yeah, one's a clear
Yeah,
better
you think of
player, but
Siren
the
when you
other
think of
has more
Survivor.
name based. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
People are gonna
The
tune
main-
in to watch Siren play.
I
Is what I'm getting at.
I'll say this. I don't think it was that way until I played 20. I think 20 is the revival of the Siren.
Oh yeah, it's because
I-
season 12 happened.
I'll state this
Yeah,
about 12. and I
20
think this will be-
is a huge legacy season. Like,
That's why
it truly
yeah.
cements legends, and I'm mainly talking about us two, but to a certain degree, Morgan gets boosted as well. He had a very
James
good
has
run.
proved himself.
I think
James gets
James does as
boosted.
well.
Edge King.
I mean, I think we have to talk about Final 10 now, which is known as the what the fuck round of the season, in my opinion.
One of many.
I would
Final
like to
6
state
is a
this
what round.
publicly.
Final 5 is a
I'd
what the
like to
fuck
state
round.
this- I'd like to publicly state this for the record. I think Pius giving me the idol may be the worst move of the entire. I think that move
We
was
actually
so
kind of skipped
horrendously.
merge though. We skipped merge.
Yeah,
I mean-
tell us a little bit
We
about
basically
the
just talked about
final
Doug used
11.
Have you
So
merge
what
vote
happened
for me?
basically was
I mean,
Doug played the idol. I think
I would have
did you
gone
play an
home.
idol?
No, Xander and me were already talking about splitting the vote because we felt like I would go home if Doug played an idol. And so the moment Doug plays an idol, I didn't even ask Xander. He just did this on fucking instinct. Just stood up and play an idol for me. I was like, whoa, oh shit, okay. Best ally ever. Just on instinct.
Yeah, so Doug gets an idol played, Siren gets an idol play, and it's left with just one vote for myself and one vote for Gilberto, who didn't vote because he had a computer issue or something. And it's just
I'm gonna be
the
real.
biggest plot armor that I could have possibly had at that point. I should
I'm
have
gonna
gone
be-
home.
I'm gonna be real. This may be a hot take. I don't think Gilberto is the most robbed player of season 20.
Who is?
Wow.
Is it James?
I would say it was James. Because the
That's
thing with
fair.
I can see that.
Gilberto
Because James could have
is
won the game.
because the thing with the Gilberto vote is, and Civ can attest to this, I did so much fucking legwork for EG that I ran around everywhere to keep EG in. Because there were people that didn't want to do it. James didn't want to do it. Morgan didn't want to do it. Pius was going to vote out EG. I had to do fucking legwork for EG.
Yeah, and I was basically asleep during the tie vote because I had to because tribal was 2 a.m. But I was basically like, okay, this happened in season 7. I had somebody go to bat for me, so not season 7, season 14. Season 7, I fucking quit. But yeah, I had somebody go to bat for me, so it's probably gonna happen again. And I just chilled.
Yeah.
So thank you.
But that came back. That legwork came back to haunt. People saw me as a target after doing all that legwork for you. Should have just let you die.
Well,
I guess. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, probably. You say your game would have been better, so
It's mainly a joke, honestly. I have no regrets when it comes to 20 because
it's that part he
I don't.
missed.
Honestly, I've wanted to
It's
say
the
this
Parvati
publicly
aura.
for the. I think season 20, although I do agree with having an A and 20 and an A+. I think season 20 is my best season in
I would have
terms of
given
just
you an A plus 20 if it was up to me.
I don't. The reason I have an A, and I understand why, it's because the way I survived this season is so fucking cheap. Realistically, I will never make Final Four if I'm not idling the fuck out every round. That's why the grade's an A.
Yeah, but to be fair, outside of Final Five, which is stupid, every other round I think you didn't get a majority of the votes. So
No, there was one round that got the majority of the
would
votes.
have possibly survived anyway.
It was the Sunny vote, where Sunny went out and we voted for Joanna. I did have the majority of votes that round.
Yeah, but it's because we voted for Joanna. If we had voted for Suni, it would have been 6-5, I think.
Yeah, but I have no
And
regrets
we
on that,
voted for
honestly.
Joanna knowing you were going to play the idol. If
It-
you were going to hold it, you would have voted for Suni.
Yeah. I mean,
Or you would have survived that if you didn't want to play the idol.
honestly, I think it was by Final 9. I have 3 idols in my pocket at Final 9. I was literally already fixated on just idling. I think Civ can confirm that. I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna idle out. They can't fucking stop me. They all suck. I
Yeah,
was
because the
correct in
thing
that.
is, yeah, that was what I was going to say. We all were terrible at hunting for idols that season, so it was basically just you, and once it was Pierce.
And then
I
PS
think the
gave
only
it to me.
person who came close to you was Pierce in terms of idol finding.
I will state this for the record at Final 10. I told PS to not play the idol publicly for me and just give it to me. They didn't listen to me. I told them to give it to me. They wouldn't do it. They're like, no, I'm gonna play it for you. Just plummeted into hell.
I'm sure it's not going to affect his ETC performance or anything.
I know, right? It's not gonna affect them at all.
So tribal after that we go to the Xander tribal, which is where everyone starts, pointing out the Siren threat, and they decide to go after Siren's. I mean, was Xander your number one ally at this point?
Yeah, he was.
Actually, I'll be real.
I think he
I
was.
didn't
wasn't he?
have no. I didn't have an official number one ally. In my head, I was literally just thinking, I have Pius, Xander, Lachlan, and EG. I get past this vote, and then it is just smooth sailing, and I don't get. That's what I was thinking at the time. I was just like,
Yeah,
I
but
have
like
5 people.
gun to your head, it's Xander, isn't it?
If I got to choose my final 3 out of the people that I cared about, I would have honestly went to the end with I think it would be Lachlan and Xander. And it's not even because I like them over you, EG. It would just be respecting the fact
I'm
that
not offended. I mean, I got you as well, so.
exactly. I mean, I guess Xander's my number one ally. He's my number one ally because he keeps giving me shit for free.
He keeps bribing
He
you.
was so fucking generous that season.
Dude,
Very generous with
have
the
an idol.
information that he gives and the trinkets that he gives.
Have an idol. I wish he gave me the gambler's idol. I would have been even stronger. That would have been my dream.
Save some for the rest of us. Jeez.
No.
The funny thing is, one time I actually looked for an idol, which was, I think, the final one that you got. And I actually found the command before you.
Yeah, you
It
got
just
stuck
happened
at
to be the fucking Flappy Copter idol. And I couldn't figure out Flappy Copter to save my life. And I was just fighting at 3 a.m. trying to get 30 plus on Flappy Copter and just raging my ass off in the house.
If I was correct at Final 10, Civ can confirm this. They were going after me at first, but then EG and Pius telling me that I was the vote got them to.
Yeah. I think the big thing about that whole was just well, James and Morgan, and this is why I think James kind of got underrated a little bit, is James kind of figured things out from there on, as it was going to be kind of like an FBI domination if he didn't do anything. So he kind
No,
of just
I do think it was like James and stuff being involved. It's just I had a big fight with Joanna, didn't I? In our
Oh yeah,
one-on-ones.
you did.
I think I was kind of justified in being annoyed with them though, because they were like publicly, they were saying to my face that they were the reason, and then trying to. And I didn't vote them out till Final 5. I wish I did it sooner.
Yeah.
And no, that was the perfect moment. I needed Joanna at the final 6.
And so after that, it's the Sunny boot, right? The Sunny tribal.
If I'm correct, that tribal was like actually batshit crazy. Because
No,
if Pius voted Joanna,
it was a 5-3-3.
if Pius, no, it was like a 2-2. Because if Pius voted Joanna,
No,
Sunny
it was
tribal?
a 5-3-3. I remember. I think 2 of the writers had extra votes because they got top 3 in the challenge.
like an extra vote. Because if Pius voted us, we would have got Joanna out.
Are you talking about the Sunny tribal or the Morgan tribal?
It's the Sunny tribal.
The Sunny tribal.
The Sunny tribal
I
is
think it was the
5-4.
5-3-3, wasn't it?
No, the Sunny tribal's 5-4.
That was after the revote. We're talking about before the revote because there was a
tie.
revote.
That's the second
never mind. My bad.
The original vote.
Yeah, because we almost got Joanna out.
Let's see. I'm in the tribe chat right now. 4 votes on Siren that don't count. No, 5 votes on Siren that don't count, and then 3-3 on Sunny and Joanna. So, yeah. And then it's 5-4 on a
that
revote.
was you voting twice and me voting once for Joanna. And we needed Pierce. And Pierce
because Pierce was a little. Pierce wasn't like
also,
fully
is it
on
Pierce
board
or Pius? Because some of you are saying Pius, and I don't want to be wrong.
Siren just pronounces P. Siren's a contrarian when it comes to name pronunciation.
Okay, so it's Pierce.
Is it Pius? I thought it was Pius the whole time. Okay, Pius.
I think it's pronounced 0 votes.
It's pronounced 1 for 2 FTC.
It's pronounced Siren really got him.
Hey, no offense to Pierce, again, a great player. I don't want him to be mad and leave the server again.
No, he's a good player.
We'll talk a little about Pierce soon, but so how was Sunny Tribal? How'd that work?
Siren leave?
I'm guessing he has to run Tribal, maybe, or not.
Your mic cut out for me, so I was just like, I'm gonna rejoin.
Oh, is my mic bugging
Okay,
for
okay.
you?
So Sunny
No,
Tribal
I
for
think we're
me was. I mean, on the revote, I was fine with both outcomes. Like, I would have preferred to have Joanna leave the game, but neither of these players mattered all that much to me. Like, neither of the two were really going to work with me. The big thing that surprised me was when Sunny voted Gilberto at Final 11 on the revote, but that didn't really transition into a long-term thing, so it's one of the tribals that I don't remember all that well, to be honest.
all I remember is that Pius was like, I didn't think we would actually be able to take out Joanna, so I thought we already had Joanna out because I didn't believe James and Morgan or something.
Yeah.
The James and Morgan duo was a big point of contention around that early mid-merge between us. Like, I trusted James and Morgan a lot more than you and Pierce did, and it broke through in several conversations. I was not willing to have Morgan leave the game at Final 8, for example. I just had to do it.
Yeah. All right, so 5-4 revote. Siren, how'd you feel about Sunny going?
I was kind of annoyed, but I knew it was going to happen once it failed. I was pissed at Pius. I was like, you have one job, you son of a fucking... One job!
Was Siren ever happy at an ally in Season 20? Except Xander giving him
No.
idols?
I was happy when Xander... I was happy when they gave me an idol. No, I was happy a lot of times. Like, getting rid of Rami was a fun moment for me, and getting rid of JJ. It's just... And Civ can attest, I'm like a very like emotional based player. I have to get angry to like have the willpower to get someone out.
Siren's fueled on pure adrenaline and revenge.
It really is. Was
He
it
is like
that
Hero of the season, everyone.
he's the manifestation of the only thing I drink is the blood of my enemies.
that's my entire season 2 win at the end of it. It's just you fuckers left me alive. That was a mistake.
Hero of the season.
I'm the hero, guys.
He's the hero.
Now listen to me, Sim. Come on. I'm the best hero of the era. Come on. It's so funny. You gotta do it. Yeah, come on. The fans want it.
Don't worry, heroes versus villains will happen again.
You have to put me on the hero tribe now, Civ. You made me a hero. Go. I'll be the first one to play on both tribes. Come on, Civ.
It'll happen. So after that, we get it's the Morgan tribal, I believe.
Yeah, Morgan Boot is the next one, which was also another late scramble.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, because I trolled a little bit, and Siren negated a couple votes as well. It was a 4-2 to 2 to 2 to 1. That one had some.
Okay, so
no.
funny IRFG story about the Morgan tribal. This is sort of like the sequel to when in season 14 I told my parents about orgs at the Franger boot. So the day before the Morgan tribal, I was at a friend's birthday party, and I lost my keys in the taxi. So we had to call the taxi driver to see if the keys had fallen off in the taxi or if it was somewhere else. And so while the scramble was happening for the Morgan tribal, so this was like 1 hour before tribal council, we drove to the cab driver's house, which was like a 40-minute drive, just for him to gave us my keys back. And I was literally scrambling and trying to see what's going on with this Morgan vote whilst we were on the way home. I wasn't driving, by the way. But yeah, funny little side story about how I had to be stressed about two things at the same time during that trial. And it's possible that losing my keys contributed to me just going, I'm not gonna use enough brain energy to try and keep Morgan in the game. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go with whatever they say. I have too much going on right now. So sorry, Morgan. If I had kept my keys, you may have been around.
The story of James is here.
Hi.
Perfect timing. We were talking about you.
Oh, hi. It's great to talk about me. I love myself.
Hi.
What's up, man?
What's up? Great seeing everyone. We got like 30 minutes of this. So,
Yeah, we're on like the mid-merge portion of season 20. If you want to
Yeah,
kind
we
of
were talking about the Morgan vote.
if you want to kind of recap a bit of your
oh,
merge
Morgan.
experience up to that point.
All right. So, from my experience, everyone pretty much knows I was close with Morgan. He was my number one. So, just me and him just developing relationships. At that time, I was a writer. So I'm like, who do I choose to be my co-writer? Not Morgan, because he's my number one. Why not pick someone that'll blow up? I picked right and picked Casey. But all that went on, merged with Siren, got to a close relationship with him. Casey ended up blowing up, getting himself out of the game. We merged, met EG, blah, blah, blah. Tried to vote out Siren, ended up voting out Xander instead. And then here we are back at Final 8, where I'm pissed that Morgan's out.
Yeah. So, what was a bit of your strategy at the first few merge tribals?
My strategy was mostly try to keep as much of the bigger targets in for the most part, because bigger targets would help keep me under. Plus, I would know where people are lying, people go. Unfortunately, I didn't know much about Siren or EG, where they lied. But as long as I kept my relationships up, no one was going to touch me until later on. That was my strategy. Just keeping my relationships very well maintained.
Fair enough. So, yeah, going back to a Morgan tribal, very close tribal. Well, not close, but it was a very frantic tribal that went down. Like, 4 people received votes. Very, very hectic tribal. So Siren, you played your idol that tribal council. You want to elaborate further on why you did that?
I like idling out. That
He's just gonna find it again. That was the strategy.
I'm gonna fucking find it again. Look, what round is this? Is this final 9 or 8?
Final 8.
The final 8.
I just
So this was
believed I
around
would
the
find
point where you found it again. You knew you would idle out the final 4, basically.
I was like slightly afraid that round 2 where like I didn't want to be an idiot. I think I said this in my subs and not my comps, but I was like I didn't want to be like James from China where I have 3 idols in my fucking pocket and go out the round before. And look like an idiot. So I just swallowed my pride and played another idol.
All right. So, yeah, after that, the go to the unanimous Doug boot. How was final 7 for everyone there?
You know,
Okay, so Final 7 is a lot more interesting than what it looks like under the surface, because from what I remember, like, all sides, all alliances pretty much agreed we would get Dugout because we knew he's a writer. But different people had different ideas as to who was going to eventually get the final advantage. So we all basically rolled the dice and said, okay, we don't like Doug all that much. One of us is going to get an advantage. It's a decent chance it's going to be me or one of my allies. So I think we all just agreed that it was the perfect round to get Doug out. But there was a lot of power playing going on behind the scenes. And Final 7 was also where I decided what my sort of end game plan was going to be. Basically, after Siren found the idol again, I knew he was going to have 3 idols and he was going to
well, I
get to
think I
Final 4,
told you.
basically.
I told you the moment I found it. I think
Yeah.
that round. I was just like,
Yeah,
I'm
because, I mean,
fucking.
we were fighting for it. That was the one, that was the Flappy Copter idol, I think. That was the one where
Oh my god, I hate that.
we were fighting for it. That was hell. That was hell. But yeah, basically, once Siren told me that he's got 3 idols, I was like, okay, how the fuck do I win this game? Siren's gonna be there at Final 4. Siren is beating me in front of a jury because he has found a gajillion idols. So I just gotta make sure I'm not the person that gets idled out by Siren. I gotta stick close to him, ride it out with him at the Final 4, and hope I cut him right before FTC. And that's what happened. And along the way, I was going to try to get Siren to play one of the idols for me at some point. I think I especially tried at the Final 6. But you were not budge on that. You had decided that you were going to 100% play them yourself. Even though I think at certain points it would have been... You were not in danger at Final 6, for example, I think. Were you?
I honestly, no, it was. They split vote. It was 2-2-1. Or no,
Yeah. Final 7 was the one. I remember telling you not to play it at Final 7 and keep
Yeah.
3 for Final 6 to play one of them for me. That was what happened.
No, I'll be real. The moment I got the final 7, I was just like, I don't give a shit who comes with me to the end at this point. All I care about is comp ability. Because if I make it to FTC, I was very convinced I would have won the game. And I was just like, I'm playing all these idols for me. I don't give a shit what happens. And it was not because of like you or me not trusting you or anything. It was just anyone would have done what I did, in my opinion. Just walk to the end and see what happens at Final 4.
So heroic.
Yes.
Hey, I specifically did this every round. I waited for Lachlan. Okay, wait, did my mic cut out?
No, you're good.
Yeah, I waited for Lachlan every round before I made a decision. Maybe that's why I'm the hero.
You waited
like
for
I'm-
the villain.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm the hero. I'm the only nice one. I was the only one that didn't call him a rat. You confused me when that was his nickname. I was like, he was a
I
rat?
didn't call him a rat. I called him a cockroach.
Some
You
God,
people
called
he
were
him-
was
calling him.
called either one.
I didn't call him that either.
Which probably was.
I thought he was a good guy. He was my friend. He was my ally. I liked Lachlan.
He was a good
Lachlan
guy.
was the best newbie on the cast, I think. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, James. How was Final 7 for you after you lost Morgan?
I mean, from that, of course, I was pissed off, but my mindset was, all right, I lost my number 1. I lost possibly my ticket to Final 3. How am I going to maneuver through all of this? One of the key people that I definitely had a hand in was EG and I connected. We made the deal final 7 deal, make us go to 3. Because in my mind, I thought EG is probably my biggest threat to win at this point. But I can't get him out this yet. And Mitch and Doug, I think Doug was just on borrowed time at that point. I mean, he was targeted from the beginning of the merge up until everyone's like, he's just a goat. We're just drag him along. We know where he stands. We'll get him out eventually. So for me, it was just try to get as many connections as possible. See if I could find my way to get to the 3.
All right, pretty solid. So obviously, we see Joanna win the reward for voting Doug out, and which plays a big factor in the final 6, where she gets a safety without power idol and plays it on Pius, eliminating him from voting or getting voted. And so Pius has no effect
The
on
funny
the
thing
final
here is that
6.
PS won immunity already.
He won immunity, so
PS won
basically,
immunity and so it basically functioned as a blocker vote.
yeah. So
But the thing is that
basically,
it functioned as a blocker vote to somebody that Joanna needed to make this fucking split vote work.
Literally.
yeah.
If Pierce was around in that tribal, it's a 2-2 split between me and Siren, which makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah. I think this is my hot take, and you guys can agree or disagree. I think Joanna should have played it on Siren, because Siren can't play
I
idols
agree with
either.
that. I've been saying that for so long. Take the idols out of the game.
You take Idol Boy out and then vote out EG.
Yeah, that would have been the play.
After thinking like that would have been the best.
Now, I will say, and I don't know if Civ would have agreed to this, but if Joanna had played the safety on Siren and I was around when it happened, I would have publicly asked for Siren to give me one of the idols on the way out. I don't know if you would have allowed it, but I went for it. It's sort
I
of
don't
like
think I
as
would
he's
have.
grabbing his torch and heading back to camp, just publicly hand one of the idols to me and
No,
be like, "Good luck, everyone."
this
It's
is
not.
where oh boy, this is where I make my statement. I wouldn't have given it to you anyway if you asked.
You had 2.
Honestly,
You had fucking 2.
I would've-
Come on. You would have been in
I
the
would've.
final 4 anyway.
I would have thought to myself, now I can just buy us out even easier. I have 2 idols. Because
Fucking hell.
at that point,
And then you didn't even
I
get
don't think
Pius out after all that time.
it's not
I
my fucking
know.
fault. It's not my fucking fault that people thought Pius was fucking dog. That's not my fault.
All right, so James, talk us a little bit about the walkthrough of Final 6, because you were on Joanna's side during that.
Yeah. So from what I remember from our conversations, the plan was either Siren or EG. I'm just like, we don't do Siren. He has an idol. We just don't do it. We take out EG because at that point EG's the biggest threat to win. So after learning what Joanna had with the Sacred Without Power, it was Latchlin who gave the idea of using it on PS. Now, thinking about it, I wish I would have said something and said, why not use it on Siren? I don't remember if I said it or not, but thinking about it, that would have been the best play. So we use it on Lachlan. The plan was just to split vote between Siren and EG, just in case. And then I don't know what happened. I think Siren got to Lachlan, from what I remember, and ended up tying it on me and EG. And then went back to Joanna, and then it inevitably voted me out.
Yeah, the thing
That's
is that
what I remember.
because Pius wasn't that tribal, you guys couldn't split.
Yeah.
You guys couldn't
Yeah.
split, so it was gonna be either a 3-2, or for some reason what happened, which was a 2-2
I mean,
between
I think
me and you, which is because I think Lachlan voted for Joanna, if I recall correctly.
that was Joanna.
Yeah.
I scared the shit out of
Yeah,
Lachlan that
and in
round.
any other case, it would have been, if Lachlan had voted for myself, it would have been a 3-2.
Yeah, no, because I went up to Lachlan that round, because James is kind of right, I did get to Lachlan. And I looked at him and I was like, I have 2 idols. I'm going to just play them on me and EG, because I'll find it anyways. Even though I would have played shit on
And
him.
the thing is that you were right, you were gonna find it. We all sucked.
Yeah.
I was fucking right.
You were gonna find it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to just find it again.
Yeah, but why did
I mean, it was
you
pretty
vote for
obvious.
Joanna
You
instead of James, though?
had the idols. You're just finding it left and right.
I literally
I knew I
walked
didn't want
onto
to take this cutting.
I walked onto a tribe that I was not on. I got swapped onto a tribe I wasn't on and found an idol that an entire group of people couldn't fucking find.
Yeah, I gave up after like the first try of that. I'm like, I'm too high for this shit. I can't do it.
The thing
Then
is,
again, this is like my second or third Discord game. I literally haven't had a chance to find any idols or advantages. This is so basically it's
and
like, oh my gosh, I am so new to this. Literally, the Flappy Copter thing was the closest I got to finding one. And by that point, you've already found it. I'm like, I'm wasting an hour trying to get this bird up here. I get 11. I hate this game. So I'm
Yeah,
just like,
literally same.
God
I
damn.
fought for 2 hours to get to 14, and the score that we needed was 30. And I think Siren got it on the first try.
yeah, I got it on the first try.
Like, God damn. How can I compete with just greatness right there? How can I?
It's such a crazy tribal, dude.
Siren, do you remember why Lachlan voted for Joanna instead of James?
No, because I scared the shit out of Lachlan. That's why. He, in his
Yeah.
mind, he was.
You scared Lachlan into taking our side, but why Joanna instead of James, since we voted for James?
I talked to Lachlan about it and I read it after season. Lachlan's reasoning was, I'm not going to fight either side. I'm going to be the middleman and be as neutral as fucking possible. That was Lachlan's move, to be neutral.
That's what pissed me off. I'll be honest. That's what pissed me off because it's final stick. At that point, you need to pick a side. There's hardly any middle play unless you are very hidden and very likable that you can pull it off. He didn't
You
have
can't
that
speak
notion. He
neutrality.
didn't have that power. He
Well,
You
explained it
can't
to
use
me.
neutrality in an FTC. That's not a move.
the thing is that it, realistically, or at least in my opinion, it should have worked. Joanna just went crazy. It should have worked.
Yeah,
It
she went
actually
It
very
almost worked. It almost worked. And then
Yeah,
Joanna said,
the thing
no.
is though, is that how is that any different from just voting me out?
Right.
Like, what
Well,
purpose did
because
it serve? Would it have served Lachlan going into Final Five?
okay, to be
If
fair, I did sort of lie to Lachlan and say I would agree to vote Joanna. So I think that's also part of that.
Actually, I think I remember that because Lachlan did explain to us why he did that. Me and
'Cause-
Joanna are like, bro, why the fuck would you say that to us? You're fucking dumb.
I was just vibing. I was just like, I really wanted Lachlan to be on me and EG's side. Like, because I was just like, if I get Lachlan and I get EG and I get them to the Final Four with Joanna, then I'm just gonna fucking win Final Immunity. It didn't fucking happen.
You're just so.
Yeah.
It didn't fucking happen. Blame PS for that, winning all those immunities.
No, I don't think I blame myself. Should have been better. I've won 2 Final Immunities before. I just couldn't do it a third time.
That's why I was so scared. I was like so backed into a corner after Final 7 because the only plan I had in mind was to cut you at Final 4, but how fuck can I trust that you're not going to win this Final Immunity? So I was actively going in my confessionals and I was like, I'm probably going to be one of the best runner-ups in Survivor history.
I remember that.
Honestly, and I'll say this. I know it sounds insane that I would have taken EG to the end, but I would have. I think PS has a better chance at me at FTC than EG.
I mean, it's not that outrageous. Fucking you beat me, so why not?
Well, no, it was more so because in my head I was like, I beat Lachlan because I can say that Lachlan was an idiot at Final 6. I can beat EG because I can say we're a duo. I am more popular than him. End of fucking discussion. You know,
Yeah.
it's the Siren charm. Everyone loves me even though they shouldn't. I brainwashed
Well,
Civ
Yeah,
into
the one reason why I was like 5% confident if I ended up going against you is because 2 days before Civ 20 started, I won my first ever org, and my game was shit, and I just outpitched everybody. So I was like, maybe I can do it again. Maybe I'm just that good at FTCs that I can outpitch the goat. But it probably wouldn't have happened. I think I'd be fighting a losing battle if I was at the end with you.
Yeah, I think you would have gotten. I don't think I'm. What in the first unanimous winner? I think I don't get someone's vote.
Yeah, I do get a couple of votes, I think, but I'm not going to win the
if
game.
it's with EG, I'd say it's like a 6
you
to
probably
2.
get Morgan's vote, maybe. EG
No, I think
would.
no. EG would get Doug.
I think I'd
Doug is
get
never.
Gilberto's vote as well, I think.
Yeah. No, he
Because
liked me.
I answered Gilbert's question really well.
The thing is that I was the only one that told them to their face that I was voting them, so they were gonna like me no matter what. He specifically said that on the way out. I went up to them as I was campaigning for EG to stay, and I was just like, I'm voting you. If you stay, maybe we can work together, but I am voting you. And they just respected the balls of it. Fair enough. I did that to Joanna as well, and they never got me out. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna vote you. Sorry.
What I remember most from that final 6 was just me working and literally blowing up on you. That was the only thing I remember.
I didn't even really consider it as much of a blow up. I was just like, tomato, tomato. James is still gonna like me at the end of the day. We're cool.
I mean, yeah, I was still cool with you. I think it was just letting out a lot of shit, and then like after an hour, all right, I guess I'm just gonna continue on. I guess after an hour, I was like, all right, on other stuff, but it was just try to keep it entertaining, see how long I could go on with this for before I get bored. I can tell you, God,
I mean, honestly, I state this: if PS didn't win the final 6 immunity, I would have voted them out. I would have let you, Joanna, and Lachlan all stay.
And I probably would have agreed to that.
I the only reason I'm even
I think I
doing
would
that
have.
The only reason I'm even doing that is because I'm just like, I need Pius out. They're gonna beat me at
You
Final
need
Four.
no
I was like,
Final Four immunity with it.
I
Yeah,
win.
that was
Gets out. I
formative,
win
that
the
one.
game. When PS won Final 7 immunity, I was even annoyed. I was just like, God damn it, let me vote you out. You're the one thing in my way.
That's what I
Get
was
out of
saying.
the
I'm
way.
like, in my confessionals, I really want Pius out, and we can't get him out.
Yeah, I wanted Pierce out as early as like Final 8, I think. Because he was too
We
close
need
to you. It's the same reason I wanted all these other
That's what
people.
I was saying. Me and Morgan was like, all right, Siren's close with Pius. We all know this.
Yeah, I think I was just jealous girlfriend all season with Siren. I
and
wanted
then
Yeah, the jealous
I
girlfriend
wanted
is
Sander out.
great.
I wanted fucking Conan out. Uh,
I was just
Pierce out.
and then I'm
I
just
just wanted to be
and
the
then
only
I'm just
person
in
Siren liked.
and then I'm just in my confessional curled up in a ball. My allies keep fighting. Why do they keep fighting? Stop fighting.
It's funny how Siren came in to season 20 thinking he'd be like the biggest target easy, and then all that's happening is all his friends just hate each other. They hate everyone except him.
It's like, when was I the likable one? Why won't you vote me? I'm playing my idols. Vote me. The only time people ever really wanted me out was Final 10, and then they didn't do it. Like,
Final 5 as well.
and
Which is
Final
the one
5.
round where they shouldn't have.
Like,
Yeah.
is it weird that I want to state that I think season 20 is by far my best social game performance in Civivor history?
No, I'd agree.
Cuz like I was
I was
clearly overplaying the entire game and got no repercussions for it. I was just wilding out. I was what EG wanted to be, guys. He wanted to be the crazy one. I was the crazy.
No, I think we just kind of swapped around once the merge hit because I do consider that my pre-merge and my post-merge are two very, very distinct games. I was crazy in the pre-merge. You know, James, we were talking earlier about the whole voice messages, leaking everything to the writers, the Conan thing. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
was fucking wild in the pre-merge, but I think once the Gilberto vote happened, that was sort of the switch in my head where I was like, I gotta actually lock in. I gotta stop doing crazy bullshit. I
Yeah.
actually have a genuine chance here.
Yeah.
I mean,
And that was kind of
in my,
when my game got a little bit more quiet. It also got overshadowed by what Siren was doing. Like, once the merge hit, I couldn't out crazy Siren. That was not happening.
it was like, for some reason it was after Final 10. And the same thing happened in season 5 partially. I don't think it happened like as crazily, but like I see someone I really cared about go out before me, and the first thing I'm thinking is, how dare they not see me as a threat? I'm gonna fuck their shit up. Just immediate. Just I'm going to kill them all. I had two idols after Final 10 before I found the third one. I think even Pius was starting to get annoyed with me. He was just like, why do you keep finding them? It's like, it's a universal truth of life. Maybe you should have played it on me.
Amen.
All right. So then after that, we get the unfortunate boot of Siren, and we get some like elimination music for Siren. Sad days, sad days.
I don't it was unfortunate. I think it
Playing the
was
world's smallest violin.
part
It
of the
was the
reason I
logical thing to do.
part of the reason I wanted to play 20 so badly is that I never felt like in like my Civivor like history, and I think Civ will agree, I've never had an honorable exit, if Civ gets what I mean.
No, I agree.
Like season 20, and I state this for the record, I wish I did not play season 21. In hindsight's 2020. I should have just put down the torch.
I would agree with you with that.
But also, I was playing 20 and 21 at the same time, and still got to the final four and found more idols than the rest of you combined. So you all can deal with it. I ran over a cast while playing 2 seasons at once.
And then you got swap screwed.
I guess I gotta play Era 4 Civ. I gotta have an actual ending. I'm sorry. You gotta deal with
that's
it. You're
true.
stuck with it. No, I may not play Era 4. I'm saying that for the record. I don't know. I'm 50-50. Would people want to see me again? I think the Siren story is overrated at this point, guy. What else am I gonna do?
We definitely want to see you again at some point.
Yeah.
I want to
It's not
retire, guys.
21 is not your final season ever. It's not going to happen.
Nah, it is, guys. Sorry. You gotta deal with it.
It's not. Season 20 is not my final season either. Like, probably not. I keep saying I'm retiring and bullshit like that, and I never fucking retire. I'm gonna be back. I just don't know when it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
If you pay me enough. If you pay me enough.
Okay. Okay.
I'm asking. All I'm asking is $4.01.
$4.
And I'll be back.
I'm asking for more than that. I'm asking for $4.20.
Oh yeah, but that is a good one.
You know what, Civ? I'll come back if you get Ghost back.
I'll see what I can do.
I wish Ghost was my rivalry in season 21. That would have actually been fun. I know you would have given Ghost a spin, though, right?
Yeah.
That was going spinning on me.
Actually, in that sense, since we're including clauses about other players, if you can get Max back, I will play.
Okay.
Which
If you
Max?
can
There's
get
2 of them.
Mac and I will play.
Which
Civ
Max?
Or
sends
Dev.
away from Max.
The one who won.
Civ knows the Max I'm talking about.
The one who won.
I'm gonna bring MSS back
He's,
for a
he's
season.
talking about HP.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about
Okay,
fans
fair.
versus favorites.
You know what? No, I'll give you a very specific term. You give me my fight with Yuli and I'll come back. You should have given to me. Stop being a coward. I want my 1v1.
Yuli should
I'm
have
not
been the
giving
rival.
you back really. All right. So close this out. We do have the FTC EG wins 8-0 to nothing. So question to Siren and James. I guess it's kind of obvious why you voted for EG, but I mean, just explain it a little bit. Was there any chance that you would vote Lachlan or Pius?
Glaze me a bit.
Yeah.
Absolutely
No, I'm
not.
gonna be.
EG was my number one by then.
I'll be 100% real. It would be unrealistic for me to say that I was 100% voting EG, but it would also be unrealistic for me to say that the other two had a fair shot. If EG had a horrible FTC to the point that I couldn't respect them, I wouldn't vote them, but other than that, yeah. Like, I would have voted Lachlan over Pius, honestly, too. After the FTC was over, I've made it very public. I didn't like Pius's FTC at all. It felt like they didn't understand the fact that the only reason they were there was for immunities. I don't think they would have voted Pius over me in Final Four. I will admit that. If they would have,
I wouldn't. I would have voted for you at Final Four no matter what.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was between.
So at minimum, you're going to fire.
Lachlan maybe
I
would
know
have given me fireball.
Lachlan would have done, but I would have voted for you in any scenario at Final Four.
In any, and I say this with respect, in other seasons, I don't think EG would win because of the plot armor, but the other two, in respect to them when I say this, what resume could I give them the win off that deserved my vote? Was kind of my question going into FTC. And the answer was it wasn't there. That's just how I feel about it. EG survived when they shouldn't have. They played the game as best as they could. They made moves. Lachlan tried to make moves, but they failed. And Pius gave me a fucking idol. Who the fuck gives me an idol? What the fuck you cooking?
Standard did.
The difference is that well, no, Xander played one publicly as well, and he went home because of it. The people that played an idol on me lost the game. Don't get. I know this is hurting my chances whenever I play another Survivor season. If I do, don't give my ass an idol publicly. Send it to my submissions. I don't want another ally going home because it's stupid.
Give it
Send
to me
it to
instead.
my submissions.
Every time I play, my number one goes in the top 5.
Siren, if we ever play an org together,
So be my
I'm
number one.
gonna give you my idol.
Civ, I thank you. You are officially my
Publicly.
new number one. Thank you, good friend.
Publicly.
Oh fuck, never mind, you're an idiot. Stop. No, you can't go home because of me. Not again. Put it away. I mean, no.
James, what about you? What was your stance on the final 3?
Yeah, stupid phone. My stance on it was EG was always number 1, P is number 2, and then Lachlan 3. This was before Tribal. During the final 3 speeches, I would say Lachlan did excellent in giving his final speeches and understanding the game. I will give him credit for that. However, I agree with Siren. It was no doubt EG was the clear favorite. I mean, what did they do besides win immunities? Great from the bottom, did absolutely nothing. That's just my stance on it. EG was the clear favorite.
All right. So, all right. Final question, and it'll go to EG. How confident were you going into FTC, and how confident were you going into Reunion?
Okay, so 2 different answers. Going into FTC, I'd say I thought it was going to be a fight between me and Pierce. I probably slightly underestimated my game and then slightly overestimated Pierce's. And I was like, I'm probably the favorite, but it's going to take a good speech for me to get the win. Pierce also coming into FTC as somebody who's already won the game, I thought was going to play a bigger part, in the sense that we've only had a couple of people make it to FTC twice before, one of them standing here with us.
None of them have won.
I knew I was
None of them win
coming into
once they get that.
I knew I was going into a fight, but then as FTC developed, I realized that I was 100% getting it. I read that Pierce was having a bad FTC. I sort of read that the jury was asking more favorable questions towards me. So I realized that I sort of have this in the bag. I think the moment that it truly clicked for me that I was going to win the game was when Pierce made a mistake in one of his answers, and I just fucking clarified it in my own speech channel. And I think he mixed up the tribes. And yeah, I clarified it in the speech channel. I was adding laughing emojis and everything. I was lapping it up, So yeah, Pierce didn't have a good FTC. I did what I had to do. So going into Reunion, I was very confident. We got pizzas in the family to celebrate. So, yeah, I knew I was getting it.
All right. So yeah, that is a
And
wrap
that's why
on
I was
our.
sounding. That's why I was sounding so bad in the reunion ECs, because I was munching on pizzas and drinking beers to celebrate my
Hey, that's a
victory.
great way to celebrate.
The Greek god becoming season 20 champion.
Yeah. Shout out to Alan.
You shout out Alan. All right, so that's a wrap on our season 18 to 20 podcast. Do you guys have anything you want to add on to season 20 before we close this out?
Shout out to Pius for the final 5 immunity pretending to be Doug. That was possibly the funniest moment of the season.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
And we didn't mention it earlier, so I wanted to shout that out.
Yeah, that was good.
I got
One
a
thing you
couple
should
of
know
shout
about
outs.
me is that I feel pretty good at.
All right. What did you want to add, James?
I'll give a shout out to Morgan, best duo ever, hands down. And also shout out to Dev. Without him in the game, I can actually do well. Thank you.
All right. All right, so we'll close this out here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We still got 2 more podcasts left to do. So be tuned for that, and we'll see you guys next time.